Is going on, mi familia? How's it going? Welcome to Lou Reviews, the destination for critical thinking in the unexplained. I am your host, Luis Jimenez. If you haven't already, please do me the favor. Smash that like, share, subscribe button. Let everybody know that we are live right now. When I do this, it's really happening. When I blink, I actually blink. Right now. Pretty wild, right? Okay. Boy, oh boy. Guys, we have a show today. I just learned in a space right before I popped in here that I am the second person in UFOlogy history to be called and accused of disinformation by Richard Doty. Not gonna lie. I'm gonna wear, and the first person, before I say that, but the first person he called disinformation, Bill Moore. Honestly, I think I'm in some pretty good fucking company. I'll take a Bill Moore comparison any day of the week. So yeah, I'm not gonna waste time. Let's get into it, guys. Holy cow, what a weekend. Some people had a great weekend. Some people had a better weekend. I had a fantastic fucking weekend. The Heat lost and that didn't even bum me out. They got their asses kicked. I'm so elated with the way things went this weekend that I didn't schedule the show early today so I could go watch the NBA playoffs. Well, fuck it, let's just do it. And honestly, the Heat play better for some reason when I'm not watching. Superstition or whatever, but anyway. Today we're going to be discussing my mic drop moments and other mic drop moments in UFOlogy against not only Richard Doty, but Tupacabra, Red Panda Koala, King Milk Fart, especially UAP Mike, and we got some confessions of wrongdoing from people within that group, two of them in particular, Uplifting tweets and Merry Misanthrop. Now, unfortunately, that whole discussion is not available anymore online. It was a space that happened on UFO Shane's page. I thought the space was recorded. I went to go check this morning and it wasn't, or he took it down, one or the other. I've messaged him asking him, hey, where's this discussion? Because it was probably one of the most important discussions that has ever happened in recent memory as far as it comes to what's going on within the UFO mosh pit. Okay. There has been this really confusing argument, especially confusing to the people who are brand new to this community. They have no clue what the fuck is going on. They have no clue who these people are or why they're mad at each other. And it's a mosh pit for anybody that's walking into this. And on Saturday, was it Saturday? Yeah, it was Saturday. I did a 3.5 hour marathon slowly detailing everything that happened to me in this show through every single text message that I've had with Leah Prime. It was great because all of the text messages that me and Leah Prime had painted a really nice picture of what these timelines are and who is who and what happened to who. And honestly, at this point, I don't care anymore because we got some insane confessions in this space And I'm going to go over it. I'm not going to waste the whole show on this. I'm just going to do an overview of what happened in this space. So, of course, the big thing here lately is that UAP Mike is posing as this fucking hero, as this good person. And it turns out that, honestly, this might be the head of the snake. I compared him to the tip of the spear, but I thought the very tip of that spear was King Milkfart. And after this weekend, he's definitely there, but he's not. I don't think he's the very tippy tip of it anymore. I genuinely am starting to think that the guy that organized a lot of this hatred and a lot of this vitriol is one of the first people who attacked me. It wasn't King Milkfart. King Milkfart was nowhere. I didn't even know who he was until after we revealed that Lou Elizondo lied to everyone in the community about having sock puppet accounts. That's not debatable. That is 100% fact. He lied and manipulated not only me, but the community. He riled up the community through these sock puppet accounts. He attacked journalists. He attacked normal people that just had questions. He was condescending. He fucking picked on some people. It wasn't anything as extreme as what Milkfart does or Mike does, but it's enough to get those kind of people to attack anything that those accounts would attack. Because some of them knew it was a sock puppet, some of them didn't. But once they saw their buddy support whatever that sock puppet was doing, of course there was other people who followed. So to be 100% clear, UAP Mike was the first person to attack UCR. Then it was UFO Joe. Then it was Sean Rash. Then it was J. Christopher King. And then when the text messages came out, the floodgates opened. Everyone and anyone, including Tupacabra, was piling on the UCR show. All of them. All of them. All for simply revealing and asking questions. They could not abide. Check. Okay, making sure my mic's on. They just could not abide. It was too much for their little believer brains to accept. And so instead of attacking or questioning the person who said and did those things, they attacked the person who asked the question about those things. And there was no holds bar. They did everything. And we're going to go over some of those things because I also put out a request to anyone out there who's been harassed, especially by King Milkfart. And I also put UAP, I had to add UAP Mike in there to come forward and share your story. And we got a couple of hits. And I also went out and just downloaded some of the King Milkfart Panda archive videos because they're, as much as I don't like Panda and Tupa, the stuff that they archived of these people being fucking gross is valuable, especially today. So that's about as much praise those guys will get from me today. So we're in this space and everything is normal. And then UAP Mike comes in and starts throwing allegations and saying, and of course, attacking me, trying to justify everything that I highlighted in that 3.5 hour episode. Highly recommend you watch it because you get a very good taste of what UAP Mike does to drive people fucking crazy. But more than that, these guys, as soon as they don't like you, they start running background checks. They start looking for flaws in your appearance or in your job or in your personal life or in your past, as far as maybe some arrests. And because they could not find any of those things on me, because I've never been arrested, I've never had any of those issues in my past. You're not going to find colleagues of mine who say things about me that are the complete opposite of what I've shown here. You're not going to find them. They do not exist. And because of that, they decided to go to the next thing in line, which was my girlfriend. They found out where she worked. They found her photos online. They took my photos from my Instagram, and they made all sorts of disgusting, when I tell you, they put my girlfriend in front of a line of a gangbang. I'm not going to show the images again. I showed them all in that 3.5 hour presentation. And I'd get pissed at them. I'd call them fucking cult members. I would say things that I don't think I regret today to any of them. But I never looked up where they worked. I never fucking looked up their family members. I never did any of the searching for criminal records or what people's personal lives are like. I never did any of that garbage. None of it. People give me information, which you'll see again through that episode I did. People volunteer information to me all the time about people, about cases, about things. Some things I release, some things I don't, depending on how relevant it is. Most of the times, I'm just waiting to see for myself, who are these people? And then a lot of the times, they turn out to be shitty people. And then that's when you'll see me release something. Or if I see somebody who's calling me their friend behind the scene, and then publicly letting people shit all over me and high-fiving them and laughing at them and creating narratives about me that are not fucking true. Yeah, I'm gonna fucking talk shit about you guys. Okay, and I'm going to take joy when someone shares information about you that makes you look like the dickhead I thought you were. Yeah, that's human nature. Especially, it's like these guys, they think that, oh, I'm going to bully the shit out of this person, and then they get information on me that makes me look like a bully. And then turn around and cry victim. It's the tactic every single time. And I'm going to play some videos that just confirm everything I'm telling you here right now. Okay, so let me go back to this space, right? I'm trying to add, I know I don't want this to go too long, but you know me. Okay, I like to give you as much detail as I can. So we get back to this space, then Red Panda comes in and Tupacabra come in. And now I'm getting ganged on, right? Because now the room is shifted to where there's more people who are pushing conspiracy and bullshit and lies about me after I definitively the night before showed, especially in Tupacabra's case, he always loves to talk to people about, that's not what I meant. That wasn't the context. That's not what I meant. That wasn't the context. But I read an apology from him that he DM'd me, which by the end of that exchange, I wish him well, and I hope he gets better. And it was rebutted with, well, you fucked around and found out. Watch what happens next kind of thing. I read all of that shit. Again, you want to see all the details of this stuff, check out our 3.5 hour episode that we did on Saturday. It was not a regularly scheduled show because I knew it was going to be an epically long episode, because you cannot explain the nuances, the details of this again, to just imagine trying to cram a year and a half, close to 2 years of all of these things, all of these people, all of these events, what happened to you, what happened to them, what was the response, like so many things to build to the place where now we're in a space and they're accusing me of taking what they apologize for out of context. It's the most laughable fucking thing. But in these spaces, they call their buddies and say, hey, Lou's in here, get in here, let's get him. And then they'll talk over you. They'll throw out conspiracy theories about you. They'll throw out little truths that then they paint the rest of the conspiracy with. And the game's up. Like, in this space, everybody immediately saw what was happening. And the beautiful thing that happened here is we got two people that were listening to the conversation and decided to jump in and give their versions of the story. And that was Uplifting Tweets, which we'll get to in a second. And the second was Merry Misanthrop. Now, these two people were intimately involved with the harassment campaign that was launched, according to them, by Mike. And I have to believe that because the very first fucking person to contact my show, pretend to be my friend, and then he was sending me DMs, and it was put in the nest of this space where when I first was speaking with Mike, he was taking pictures of our conversations, all of them. This is somebody who just introduced himself to me. And they played the video in the nest of all of my messages that this psychopath was fucking collecting. And then that turned into him hating my fucking show and being the loudest person on Twitter to let everyone know I'm a piece of shit and I'm a liar and the information that I'm putting out there is junk. And keep in mind, guys, this was at the height of UCR. This was like right after the Big Phone Home won. His name was on the poster for the Big Phone Home. He was like helping on some level. I can't remember what. It wasn't significant whatsoever. But he wanted his name on the poster, so he got it. Because anybody who helped promote it, I was trying to make it as inclusive as possible. This is the first guy that attacked. And so they continued to discuss in this space and hear what was, I mean, it was just a fucking chef's kiss because it was hosted by Shane and he asked me to co-host, but I said, no, I don't want to co-host because I don't want this conversation to look at something that I look like I'm controlling. But Paranormal Chris, a veteran, came into the space and thank God he accepted the co-host responsibilities because that's when the conversation got very fucking interesting. And I started this with Mike was in that space first. That's not true. This is where Mike comes in. It actually started, the conversation started getting contentious when Tupa popped in there. And then we started going back and forth on the things that I was saying in that space because he didn't like it. He doesn't like when you talk about his racist and homophobic comics to anybody. He does not like that. So then he has to come in there and start spinning narratives about you to convolute and cloud and muddy the facts. Okay? Now, I've said a million times, Tupacabra has said these things in this Discord. To me, it's incel 4chan behavior. I do not believe that in his heart of hearts, he is the type of person to go hang somebody based off of the color of their skin or drag them behind a truck because of their sexual orientation. He is not that guy. Period. Full fucking stop. But what he was an incel. And he was controversial. And he was fucking angry. And he admitted and apologized for that anger and that behavior. And then in the same sentence tells you about how you got the context of it wrong. It's like, I'm sorry, but there's always a but. There's always a caveat with these guys. Always. And I was simply just trying to get him to answer, what did you mean by I said those words? I apologize for those words. What did you mean by that? If you didn't mean it, if you weren't being an edgelord and a 4chan little racist asshole online, then what the fuck were you doing? He can't answer that. He just won't. He even admitted to going to therapy for this. Again, I didn't dox his grandma. I didn't fucking reveal. I didn't even know until yesterday his arrest records. I didn't fucking tell anybody where he lived or what his daughter looked like or what his full name was. I reported on the things that I saw, which were he pretends to be your friend behind the scenes, and then in public spaces, he shits all over you. He takes $2,000 from your friends to edit a project that he doesn't fucking actually do any work on. And again, that's confirmed by the fact that his boss fired him from LolCow. And because I said he got fired from Skyfire News, they're like, oh, did I get fired? Is that true, Lou? Is that true? Bro, you got fired. Let's not split hairs on what part of the company you got fired from. You got fired for being too fucking slow. Period. Full stop. So these assholes come into this space and they start ganging up on me because that's all they can do. That's the only move. And then Merry Misanthrop and Uplifting Tweets come to my rescue shockingly. To give you a little background on those two, Uplifting Tweets is a meme machine. And to be honest, they're actually pretty great. Like, they are funny when they're just about me. When they're not funny and when I take great offense is when it's about my girlfriend, and they made many. He made many of those. He confessed last night in this space that UAP Mike requested, begged for an image of John Greenwald whipping a child. So then he therefore could take that meme and make an accusation about John Greenwald beating his children. And the way Fettuccine, his handle's Fettuccine, but Uplifting Tweets, the same guy. The way he describes it was, man, I didn't feel right making it. I didn't want anything to do with it, but Mike was begging me for it. And against my better judgment, I made it and I said, here, I don't want anything to fucking do with it. And what's funny is when Mike posted that, it's not funny, but what's interesting is when Mike posts that, he takes full credit for it, as if he made it, to cover for what he did. He confessed that in this space, that's what Mike did. And to me, it rings true. It rings true. But he goes on to then apologize now for the second time in about a month to me for all of the things that he did to my show in bad faith. All simply because he disagreed with me. And that how fucked up that was. And the reason why he was in that space was because he was hearing the things, because before they popped in, that's when Mike popped in too. So I was fighting Mike, Tupacabra, and Red Panda Koala. Like, I can't do that. Fighting one of them at a time is hard enough, but you got 3 of those morons, it gets hard. You're fighting 3 incels. It's difficult to put yourself in a position where you look like you're right. And then they're dogging on you and ragging on you. And you're kind of like, fuck, am I losing this argument? And then these guys come in. It was like Gandalf coming from the fucking top of the mountain. I'm like, holy shit. Thank you. I was not expecting this, because these people hate me. They hate my position on UFOs. I mean, even now, viscerally, cannot stand my opinions. And it gets them fucking angry. Let me clue you in as to why you're so angry. It's because I'm right. It's because I'm right. And that anger is your belief system clawing at your insides. Because it feels logic slowly taking over. And a space like this is part of that realization. And after, I have to just quickly say this, after that 3.5 hour marathon about Leah Prime and all of these guys, I got the best phone call. I'm not going to say from who, but someone who argued with me about, because Mike, I'll also throw this in. Mike was complaining or taking credit for my 3.5 hour show showing all the Leah Prime texts. I've already done that show. I did that show last December, maybe the December before that? I have to go back and look, but it was a while ago. I didn't show every single text because at the time it wasn't relevant. I was showing how I got the information from from Leah Prime about Tupacabra and how all of that was disseminated. And that little mistake right there that I just made is going to be edited out by Panda and read and then blasted on Twitter in about 15 minutes. Oh, look, he softly admitted, even though there's text messages and everything that proves what I'm saying is right. But that's what they do. That's what they fucking do because that's all they can do. And it's glorious because people, I think, have finally got it. So, Uplifting Tweets is apologizing profusely to me. Okay? Then he starts to zero in on Mike and Tupa and Red, and describing how the only reason why, and it's the best question, and I recommend anybody who has Mike in their space to ask this question. It's really simple. It's really easy for him to do, and there's no good answer for him to not do it. And that is to simply unblock your UAP or reactivate your UAP Mike account, Twitter account. So people could go back to your history and see exactly what you've been doing. Because Mike has been whistleblowing private messages from Fettuccine Split, private messages from people like Merry Misanthrop, and all of these people that he was directing and working with to assault and harass and dox people like me, like Ocean, okay? Like Tupa, like everyone who's been harassed here. And this is where the conversation gets really interesting. Here's what happens. This is where King Milkfart comes into all of this. Fettuccine Split shares a piece of information, and that information was simply, there was after Sam got harassed, okay, that's Tupa. After Tupa gets harassed by King Milkfart, I mean, like doxing, really bad shit. Or maybe it wasn't the doxing. Excuse me. Let me take that back. I really don't know because I wasn't there, right? But the thing that really pissed off King Milkfart and the group around him was somebody, and according to Fettuccine Split, it was Red Panda and Tupa, posted a photo of the deceased parent of King Milkfart. And that was the thing that made that group militarize. They said, his words were, at that moment, it meant war. And I had to stop the conversation right there and go, whoa, whoa. That rings true to me more than all of this, because to me, that explains the visceralness and the calculated, just to be attacked like that. And Bree, I saw Bree here in the chat, and I see UAP Mike's here too, spinning his bullshit. Bree was attacked by this man. Mike attacked Bree. So I'm sure she's here, I hope, or and giving her side of things. You can feel when you ask him these questions in these spaces, especially, hey, why won't you reactivate your account? What are you afraid of? And that's the same point that Fettuccine Split said to Mike. And when we find out these little details, it starts to really make sense as to why the King Milk Fart Harassment Archive side and the King Milk Fart UAP Mike side are viscerally going at each other. And then everybody outside of that is caught in the middle. That's what's going on. And the proof of that was, I was the best. Merry Misanthrop then chimes into the conversation and validates everything that I've been saying about UAP Mike for years, but more specifically in these last month, because he is putting himself out there some kind of fucking hero, and it's really rubbing me the wrong fucking way. And the way that Skyfire News and Red Panda Koala and Tupa have embraced him is rubbing me the wrong fucking way. I don't fucking like it. And I'm going to say something about every time I see it and every space I interact in it with it. I'm going to do it every time, because they're the problem with this community. They really are. And I know there's a lot of Tupa and Red fans out there. I get it. I understand why you like them. I really do. I liked them at one point too. But you really need to take a step back and look at the fucking tactics that these guys use, not only in spaces, but in the videos they edit. And I've got a really great example of that. And it's going to go to the Richard Doty part of this conversation. By the way, I fucking played the fuck out of Richard Doty. I made him look like a dickhead with simple questions, but we'll get to it. You need to really look at these guys. But when Merry Misanthrop came in there, and this is someone who I have butt heads with, but again, I never looked up her husband. I don't even know she has a husband or kids. I never made memes of her or tried to find her real picture. She did all those things to me, and she admitted that in this space. She even said in this space, she gets a visceral reaction anytime she hears me talk about Lou Elizondo and my opinions of him, because I know him better than she does. That's for sure. And she also validated everything that Uplifting Tweets had just said, and also added the fact that Mike was in control of a lot of these decisions on who to attack, when, with what. He would request things. His wife would also do this part. And both of them came to the conclusion that Mike was a fucking psychopath. And they also had some pretty shitty things to say about Tupa and Red. They did nothing but apologize to me. And that should tell you a lot, because now I've gotten apologies from Red Panda. I've gotten apologies from Tupa. I've gotten apologies from Merry Misanthrop, and now Uplifting Tweets, who works with Matt Ford. That takes a lot of fucking moxie to come into a space. And the thing that I really respected from Uplifting Tweets was he said, it was the shittiest thing I ever done. I fucking regret every second of what I did to you, Lou. I regret all of it. I don't agree with what you think, but I am sorry for treating you the way I did. And then those apologies, what ended up happening was this side and this side started arguing about who did what first, who was in charge of what, all of that stuff, the bullshit, the fucking drama literally was right there on display for everyone to see and understand. These people are the nucleus of everything wrong with UFO Twitter. Right there. They were arguing for everyone to see. And literally everyone backed up and let them fucking cook for about 3 to 4 minutes. And then at one point it was muted. And I simply said, now everyone understands what this is. Like, these are the incels turning in on each other because all of them have been caught. They are all on some, not now, but at some level, they have all been roaches in this discussion, and all the lights are on. All the lights are on. There is no other move to make other than to be honest about what you've done and what you're doing. And that's my biggest problem with UAP Mike. Let's circle back to this douchebag. Because to me, he is at the core of this fucking nucleus. He's the one that makes it churn. And let me tell you something. He's not being told to do it by anyone. He's doing this on his own. He has taken it upon himself to fight this fight because he is mentally unbalanced. That's not a professional opinion. That's just my opinion based off of everything that I've seen and that the community's seen. And I hope, I'm sure it won't happen, but I hope people ignore him. I hope he becomes irrelevant in this discussion. But there's always new people coming in. And he does spaces every single day. And he's going to sucker. I mean, there's nothing I can do. There's nothing we can do. There will always be someone that will listen to him because they just don't know who he is. And I know for sure that Panda and Tupa are having private conversations with him. And let me tell you guys, you better be archiving what you're saying to him behind the scenes. Because he will turn on you. It will come. I've predicted this now over and over and over again. Behavior and actions like this have a shelf life. And you dickheads have reached it. You dickheads have reached it. And it is glorious to watch. And so that was the space in a nutshell. I'm sorry, that was a big 37-minute nutshell. But it was a really wonderful moment for the community because I think for the first time, everybody who was in that space saw it on display. And God damn you, Shane, for not either recording it or deleting it. And if you did delete it, I want to know why. Damn shame that wasn't recorded because I would have loved to have cut that up and put that on the show today. Honestly, it would have been really good, but that's okay. We got another space that's recorded. We're going to get that to a second. So after this, we had the Richard Doty space, but after that, I'll digress back to that in a second. After that Doty space, man, I was really thinking about like what just fucking happened today. And then this was also in conjunction with what happened with Doty. But I was like, fuck, man, this is crazy. And so I go to my other account, which is Lou Reviews 13. Okay. Actually, I got it pulled up right here. You see here. Okay. Everybody, like, not everybody, but there's a few people out there, saying that I've got sock puppet accounts. I don't. I don't. They've never been found. But there's no rumors of them because they don't exist. They don't exist. And if you want to see a really great example of why, just go look at my interactions on Discord. I am like really not, I don't want to call myself stupid. Okay. But I'm not great with having multiple accounts. That's just not a thing that happens. Right. Anyway, after that, I ended up getting, I can't remember how it started. I think King Milkfart just I remember how it started. He was having a conversation about someone with me. And in that conversation, it was prefaced with something along the lines of, I just want to be cool and talk about UFOs. I don't want any of this drama kind of thing. And I responded to that. And that's King Milkfart saying it. Okay. I responded to that with a gif of lie detector says that was a lie from Maury Povich, just to let's see if we can get a dialogue. Right. So we start talking and I'm like, hey, you realize what's going on here with Mike and Merry Misanthrop and Uplifting tweets? They apologized to me. Dude, are you going to own up to any of this shit? Like, are you going to own up to what's going on? Can you give any information or insight as to what happened and how we got this far? And of course, his response to that is always fucking super aggro. And again, just go to my account and go read through the interactions that him and I have. He says, then, if you want to talk about this, DM me. So I DM him, and I'm not going to show these things. I posted them. I posted a full video of our DM. And the reason why I did that is because I was trying to reason with him in this direct message, in this private conversation. And I'm like, dude, like, why did you do the stuff that you did to me? Like, why did you fucking attack my girlfriend? Why did you attack me? I fucking hate you. Basically what I got is I fucking hate you. I hate your views. And I hate that you were making money off of your YouTube channel and that the stuff you say is all fucking bullshit. That's basically, in a nutshell, what he hates about me. Which is his right to, and his thing to that was, and I have every right to do that, right? Like, I have every right to troll you. Yes, you do, for sure. But again, there's a line to those things. There's a line, and we're going to play some of the lines that you've crossed, and we're going to read some of the things that you've done. And don't worry, KMF. I don't want to even use your real name because you love to throw copyright strikes around on public photos of you, on anytime somebody says your name, but you've got a fucking track record and a history of you doing way worse to a lot of people. And the problem is here, he's like, well, prove it. Prove that I did anything to you. Name one thing I did to you. And I'm like, bro, first of all, I haven't spoken to you in about 8 months. I blocked you a long fucking time ago. But I do know in the time and in the interactions that we have had, whatever account I was interacting with you on has been deleted by Twitter for violating the rules of fucking Twitter. And that's not happened once. That's happened 10 or 15, 20 times that this guy has violated Twitter policy and has been thrown off the fucking app completely. And then he uses emulators to trick Twitter that he's a new person to create a new account. But it's always got some sort of combination of king, milk, fart. Something like that. And so I don't take screenshots of people's conversations. I did last night because I knew exactly what he was going to do with this conversation of me just trying to be rational with him and trying to get to the core of why he did what he did. And just honestly, just to get a fucking apology. Like just, hey man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I was a piece of shit. I'm sorry I made your life a living fucking hell because I am a cult member for Lou Elizondo. He just can't do that. He's incapable of it. And I'm like genuinely trying to be like, dude, like, come on, man. Like, why do I need to give you examples of the things you did to me? Like, are you saying you did nothing? Like your hands are fucking clean of all of those memes and all of those things that were done to my girlfriend for lols? Fuck you. Like straight up. Fuck you. That's why you're at the brunt of all of this. And I've been like, people have been reaching out to me about you and everyone says you're a nice guy in real life. And I'm sure that's the same with every fucking incel on the planet. Every edgelord on the planet. I'm sure when you fucking get them in front of you, they're nice guys. But what the fuck does that mean? He's a nice guy? But he's doxing people's grandparents? He's a nice guy? He's fucking making fake OnlyFans accounts in people's names? What kind of fucking nice guy is this? I don't understand. Somebody make it make sense. Like, in what world is this guy a nice fucking guy? He doesn't have a girlfriend. He doesn't have a real job. No other place will hire him because he's a fucking maniac. And it's too easy to just work for mommy. Like he wants to talk about how I'm a loser. Bro, I haven't lived at home since 2001. That's the last time I ever lived under my parents' roof. How many of you dickheads out there can say that? I don't think many. The balls on you, KMF. The fucking balls, man. Like I have offered olive branch after olive branch after olive branch. Not because I want to be your friend, but just primarily I'm trying to understand the psyche behind the maniac. And every single thing is fuck you. You're a fucking fat fuck. Fuck this. Fuck. Like, it's never like, dude, I'm sorry. Hey, let's talk. Let's have a conversation. Like, I wanted to go into DMs because I didn't want to have this pissing contest with him in public. I didn't want him to think that I was trying to belittle him in front of people. A private apology would have sufficed. But what did this guy do? He took pictures of our conversation and then posted it in the context that he wanted people to see and then blocked me. He blocked me so that way I didn't take the pictures of the full conversation. But what this asshole didn't realize is I was recording it the whole time because I knew that's what he was going to do. So then I took that video and posted it online. And you'll notice at the very end of it, because I said, you fucking blocked me. And then he comes back, unblocks me to say he didn't block me. And then I posted the video of, yeah, you did. Look at the end of the video. It says I can't respond because you fucking blocked me. So I just don't want to hear anybody in this community come at me and say, I'm the rude person. I'm the psychopath. I'm the guy who has the hero complex, or I'm the guy who's acting. Like, I'm not doing this for my fucking reel. Like, I took all of this shit off of my resume. All of it. I had a piece of the show one time in my reel just to show, hey, I could host a YouTube channel. But I took that shit off. I don't want anybody well, they're going to find out soon. The industry about my show and who I am. Don't worry about it, guys. It's on the way. And all of you out there that have stabbed me in the back are going to fucking feel so fucking dumb when you see what I'm doing. Because some of you could have been a part of it if you had just been a decent human being. And I'm so fucking excited to announce this. I'm so fucking giddy. And we're already working. Like, it's... cannot wait to share it with you guys. But more importantly, I really can't wait to see what UAP Mike's going to say, King Milkfart's going to say, Merry Misanthrope's going to say, Matt Ford. Oh, fuck. Just wait. Just wait. I can't wait to share what I'm working on. Fucking cannot wait. So that's the first mic drop on UFOlogy. I'm sure there's more I could talk about that, but honestly, I'm done. I think I have finally, I could put all of this to bed. No matter what Tupa say, no matter what Red Panda says from honestly yesterday's space going forward for the rest of time. I also had people reaching out to me, telling me in private that they had information on these servers, on these people, and the second that RPK and Panda or Tupa caught wind of that, they tried to weaponize him behind the scenes and get him riled up to release the stuff. So then that way they could go make another King Milkfart harassment archive video, or they could do another breaking Skyfire News bullshit thing. I'm telling you right now, this is my warning to everyone out there. If these guys are your buddies, or if you find yourself liking these guys, I'm warning you right now. It's going to bite you in the ass. How? When? Why? I don't care. Take my warning. Don't. But I have a written apology from Tupa getting the same warning from me and then turning around saying I was right. I had the same warnings to Mary, Uplifting Tweets, King Milkfart, and Mike. And I'm right. I'm fucking right. I am finally done with this. And just like Chris said, to end that space, and this is why I'm so angry that, I'm not angry, but I'm bummed that the space is not available right now. Paranormal Chris, who was, let me tell you, just a little, I swear to God, this is going to be the last thing. And I didn't even go over the messages. Actually, I should do that. Paranormal Chris, let me tell you his story. So Chris, veteran, he was huge on TikTok, and he was convinced by Shane to come to Twitter and bring his analytical perspective to the UFO Twitter mosh pit. And he was amazing right from the get-go, because he's able to take military applications, forums, writings, anything that comes out from a legislative perspective, or if there's, nuances to the ICIG complaint, things like that. Because he's been in the system, and we hear this from Sean Cahill all the time. Well, not all the time, but when he was on the show, he would say, if we're talking about ice cream, I want to hear about it from Ben and Jerry's. If we're talking about, what was the other thing he said for the other analogy? But, if we're talking about, whatever, a race car engine, I want to hear about it from a fucking mechanic that knows the cars, right? So it's basically the same thing here. Anytime a whistleblower comes out, you've got a fucking cadre of people that have never been in the military deciphering and putting meaning to all of these things coming out. And then you got a guy who, like Paranormal Chris, like Jeremy McGowan, like John Greenwald, okay, like Stephen Greenstreet, who take all of these things and they actually add what it means. Like they decipher it to what it actually is saying, right? And it's incredibly valuable, especially when it comes to what he said versus what he did. And Chris ended this space so beautifully. And Chris, when he first got out, he was pissing off these people so badly, King Milfart in particular, and I don't know how much of a hand Mike had in this, but I'm sure he had some hand in it. In the same state that Chris lived, somebody had his exact name, and that person was connected to some really heinous sexual abuse assault allegations. And they pinned that story to Chris and spread it everywhere. And Chris even confessed in that space last night, because when you do something like that to somebody, especially somebody who is in the Air Force, they're gonna look you up. He found out where Milfart lives. He found out where he works. He found out a lot of things about that guy. And he held on to it just to protect himself. Because when you do stuff like that, people go into a defensive mode, and some people go really intense with how they defend themselves. Old classic case of fuck around and find out. And I'm not going to tell you, man, I've got a fun story. Anyway, Chris ended this space beautifully. I can't really paraphrase what he said, but basically it was like, you've seen everything that's wrong in this community highlighted here in the last 45 minutes. And all of the mud, all of the vitriol, all of the hate wasn't coming from this guy. It was coming from everybody I just named and everybody who's apologized to me. Because the bottom line is, not one of those motherfuckers, not one of them, has done more work, more boots on the ground, more organizing than me. Not one of them. And that is undisputable. And if you've been watching me from the beginning, I'm not a guy who takes credit for things like that. When we were doing the phone home and we were doing all of that stuff, I always thanked you guys. You guys were the reason all of that shit got done. The people around me. But let's be real. I did a lot of the fucking heavy lifting for all three of those events. And they don't like that. They don't like that I'm actually knowledgeable about this topic. They fucking hate that. And the spaces that I've been doing, when they're not in there, the people that we just talked about, they're always productive, respectful. And I feel like I'm reaching people when I'm in there and given the room to operate. So it was a good mic drop day, because I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders, because there's been a lot of accusations and a lot of shit talking. And these guys begged me, Panda and Tupa and Alien Addict, begged me to come on their show last night and talk to them. No. You guys don't get any more access, and you're not going to use me to get yourself clicks anymore. You guys don't get access anymore. You never will again. And trust me, if you think it hurts now, wait until you see what's coming. You're going to wish you had access to me. Oh, fuck, man. Ooh. Woo! I also don't hype things on this show, but I am hype about this project coming up. Hyped. I think I'm more hyped about what the reaction to it's going to be, which is crazy, but is what it is. Okay. Let's go over a couple of, before I truly move on. Okay. We're almost done with this first hour here. Before I truly move on, I wanted to go over this tweet right here. I put out there, anyone who's been assaulted, harassed, targeted, doxxed, or verbally abused by King Milfart, please drop photos, stories, or any interactions here in the thread. He's had so many banned accounts, it's tough to go through history that isn't there anymore. He claims there are no examples of his abhorrent behavior. Let's show him that we have down here. We will share them on the show today, along with the opportunity to call in. I don't know if we're going to get to the call in. I'll be honest with you. I just don't know if we have enough time. Please, no photos of him, just what you experienced. So this is Grant Levac, who has been nothing but supportive of me, is the best Australian activist, UAP activist there is. He's better than Ross Coulthart. He's doing better work than Ross Coulthart, in my opinion. And one of the sweetest men I've ever met in my life. We had breakfast here when he came through Los Angeles. He bought me breakfast, and he also gave me a jar of Vegemite and some Australian cookies that were fucking delicious. I still haven't opened that bottle of Vegemite, Grant. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. It scares the shit out of me. But I still have it. I will keep it forever. But Grant writes this, and he says, shortly after the Big Phone Home 3, and he includes this picture here, and it says, hashtag UFO Twitter. If you see trolling or bullying behavior, please call it out. If you stand idly by and do nothing, you're enabling unacceptable behavior. Tupa. Sounds like Tupa. If you experience trolling, please report it. I'm going to show more here. The Admiral Fart Milk and at King Milk Fart, again, both of these accounts are suspended. Okay, look at that. So that's why nobody can find shit, or that it's hard to pin him down on this stuff, because just like UAP Mike, anytime he gets caught, he just deletes the account, or until Twitter deletes it for him, whichever happens first. So King Milfart and others troll my messages, and other trolls. My message to you is simple: fuck off. For that to come out of Grant is like, you really had to fuck with him. And this is what they did, man. Like they morphed his face to look like a fucking chipmunk, all because he was supporting me. All because he came on the Big Phone Home. And we got a confession from Panda, or excuse me, from Tupa. I always fucking mix these dummies. We got a message from Tupa. There's this thing out there. Well, he was, his big whole thing is, well, I came on the Big Phone Home 3 and people were telling me not to go on. I believe him when he says that. And he still came on. But I believe he had motivations for why he came on. And it's simply what he does in his spaces. Right? He knows, okay, he's going to try and play neutral. He's going to do both, because he knows that coming on my show is great exposure, especially the Big Phone Home 3. It's killer exposure for his timeline that he was selling at the time. And there was no other shows that as big as mine that were willing to put him on that at that time. He was pretty new to the discussion. And so he had motivations as to why he wanted to come on my show, because he knew it was going to get him more followers. But he also knew that if he did come on my show, he might get shit like this, which eventually he did. Right? Eventually they found everything on him. But it wasn't just because of my show. Right? There were other things that he were doing. And again, I explained all of those other things in that 3.5 hour episode. I know it's long, but if you want all of these details, go there. And then you'll get an idea, right? I'm trying to paint for as many as you can, but I only got 2 hours today. So again, like stuff like this, you're enabling unacceptable behavior, which is exactly what Tupa did in his spaces when he let people shit all over me. All over me. So let's go to some other ones. Heather Birdie says there's an entire car archive, and I've got a couple of those videos, and I'm going to play them. I'm going to play them. So here we have UFO detective Dogbert that writes, that time he attempted to dox me after our film shoot. And by the way, I did a movie with Dogbert. He hired me for a film, which was awesome. It was in Palm Springs. We had a killer time, and it's a fun movie. It's a fun little short film. I'd love to tell you who it's produced by, but I don't want to do that because, yeah, that might be too much information. But he writes, yes, a few months ago, I made a film that Lou was in. I posted a pic from that set, and the KMF crew descended, and he threatened to dox me. Then someone called the location we filmed at and tried to find that info. Here's exactly why don't tell people to, quote, weaponize your curiosity. And he submitted a report for this information, and they found the violation. He tried to dox us at a film location. Because I was there. So if you want to know what you did, King Milkfart, this is what you did, you fucking little asshole. You fucking coward. You little bitch. You're a little bitch. Well, I don't know what I did to you. I didn't do anything to you. What about this? Let's continue. There's more. UFO Pirate writes, I've seen KMF get doxxed by Tupacabra several times, but for some reason you don't seem to be interested in that. Your attempt to take Skyfire news audience is admirable. Good luck. That's definitely not what I'm trying to fucking do. If they come here, that's on them. But again, I've never seen this fucking photo, so let's talk about it. Okay? First of all, this image looks insanely doctored. Insanely doctored, okay? Obviously, it's photoshopped. I have no idea what's going on here, right? I mean, look at the edges of these photos. So all I'm going to say is take this with a grain of salt. This feels like somebody who's butthurt fighting back. But let's read it. Because we have heard of this. We have heard of somebody posting his father's, King Milkfart's father who passed away. Okay, and there's nothing funny or any joy that anyone should take in that. And I am genuinely sorry for King Milkfart having to see something like that. Like, I would be pissed too. But the difference between you and me is I don't take the next 15 steps after that, whereas you do. But if this is a picture of his father and his sons after an emotional loss, that's fucked up. Fucked up. And unacceptable. And again, not my tactic. But let's read this. You submitted a report for exposing private info. View rule. This tweet violated the Twitter rules. Of course, they, put this here. And then they've got Tupacabra's handle here. But again, this doesn't look right. Like the other ones that have been posted that I talked about the other night were a lot more convincing than this one here. It says, violation found. We locked the @Tupacabra2's account for breaking our exposing a private info rule. So if Tupa did this, again, and this is the story we got from Uplifting Tweets, if he did that, I understand now, man. I understand what the powder keg was. And now it makes so much sense as to why we're at where we're at today in every one of these spaces that we go into. That's why there's so much drama. And people like me and people like Chris and people like Jeremy McGowan and people like Manny503 and other folks try to come in there and just add a little bit of fucking clarity, a little bit of rationality. And we have our fucking heads bitten off. Because people like this have just riled them up to hate us for no reason. Sean, let's see here. Oh, wait. Let's see who else posted stuff in here. Let's see here. Sean Fenwald says, a few months ago, he booted me from a space for saying a perfect circle is better than a tool. I was crushed, humiliated, and insulted. He did this in front of hundreds of the world's most renowned UFOlogy experts. I will never forgive him for this injustice and will take it to my grave. Okay, obviously this one's a joke. And it wouldn't shock me if it's an alt account of his. Spaceram. I believe he was involved in someone using a random alt account to repeat the same tweet I said, making it appear to be my alt account. Then the person and KMF both made posts about the alt account accusing me. It was very strange. And it's like, that's what they do. They're strange dudes. LOL, after finding this post, I went through the account. It's definitely a sock, but it's not mine. Someone has an agenda if that thread is FS. I don't know what else it says there. Aaron Contreras, have you read his emails with the government? Pretty damning. Basically proves he was the head of it. And then this account writes, unfortunately, that proves nothing. It's just Lou saying fake news. Oh, I guess this is what he said, and then they created this other fucking post. Dude, it's like, it's so weird. It's just weird. Okay. Instead of trying to out troll other trolls, perhaps you should hit the gym, dude. Oh, that's not trolly at all. You're letting yourself go down a spiral. Okay, Mr. Marley, let's see. Mr. Marley, graphic designer, BMXer, DJer, vinyl hoarder, dog father of two, Muay Thai, MCU, okay, UFO, UAP, NHI. Stop Asian hate. Well, good for you. And DJ every Thursday and Friday at the BigEasyBar.com. Wow. Look at this guy. He's so skinny. I guess that makes him better than me. Oh, look at that. Oh, in front of his record collection with his a very original shirt. Man, you must be a killer DJ with 1,200 followers, Mr. Marley. Boy. Look at this. Look at this set. Look at this set. How many people are there? I wonder if the camera will turn around. Let's see. No, I think it's just going to stay on him because there's nobody there. Okay. All right. See what happens when you dig into people who are trolling? It's so, dude, I don't have to look far to see exactly who you are. So thanks for that laugh, Mr. Marley. It was fun. All right. We're at 410. I want to play. Do I want to play it? Have I made my point? Should we move on to Doty? If you guys are in the chat, and I'm sorry, I have not been looking at it whatsoever. If you guys want to move on to Doty, hit 2. If you want to watch the videos of King Milkfart harassing the internet for about 8 minutes, hit 1. Let's see what we get. Let's see what we get. I'll leave it up to you guys. I will leave it up to you. Let's see here. What's going on? What's up, Matthew Wright? Thanks for being here. He's a mod. Matt, just as long as they're not saying anything absolutely crazy, let them say whatever they want. Let them lash out however they want. I mean, honestly, if it's not hateful and it's not, the incel edgelord shit, if it is, kick them. If it's not, let them hang. Okay, so let's see here. We got a bunch of numbers. We got, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, man, it's pretty fucking even. I think I'm seeing 18. Man, you guys are right down the middle on this shit. Of course, Tupa wants to go 1. Yeah. I don't know if I did edit it, man. I did spend time editing it, you guys, so that way King Milkfart's face wasn't in it. But it is the King Milkfart harassment archive videos, and God, I don't like those guys, even though they did a good job on this part. Snowdape says 420. All right, we'll play the video because I edited it. I hope you don't mind, Steve Long. I was going to move on for you because I know you hate this, but let's play the video for the people. It's what they want. And then, yeah, I think we'll be pretty much done with this. So let's go to my KMF folder and my KMF archive video. that I put together here. Let me whip it out here for you guys. Ah, man, I worked so hard on this. Let me tell you, I worked really, really hard. All right, here we go. There's clearly a group of guys that are being told what to do and who to harass and who to chill out on. There's an element of this, and King Milkfart belongs to it. Okay. That, and so does UAP Mike and his wife and Chris Wolford and UFO Joe and J. Christopher King, all the people that I warned you about when I quit my show originally. And here we are for all of these guys. All of them. Unbelievable. Harass privately and get other people to do it publicly. Happened to me. Oh, let's pause there. So here are all the fucking memes that they made about me. Again, like, I had all these guys blocked. I didn't give a shit. I didn't want to see this stuff, right? But this is what they did, right? This is Darren right here. This is Uplifting Tweets, or no, this is a shirt Uplifting Tweets made, and who Darren, the guy who called CPS on people's kids, right? Because of somebody's UFO belief. Here's me, you know, as an edgelord on a computer. Here's me in a hospital bed eating food. Here's me as an overweight, chubby baby. Again, like, all of these jokes are fat jokes. If that's the first set of jokes out of the gun, you've lost, dude. You've lost. Like, your fucking intelligence is common denominator shit. Calling somebody a fat fuck when it's obvious isn't funny. Like, it's not original. It's really not. Here's Stephen Greenstreet busting out of my chest. Again, like, this by myself, funny. Like, it's fun. Like, I can laugh at this, but it's when they bring my girlfriend in and they put a beard on her. You know, it's just like, again, you can make fun of me all day. But when that starts going into doxing, harassing, looking up where people are on set, you fucking psychopath. You fucking weird ass. You little wank stain. I can't, like, you know what? I'm going to tell this story. I know who called King Milkfart's mom. I know that because I'm the one who suggested to do it. Because this person was being put through the fucking ringer by you. And I was like, you know what I'd do if I were you? I'd write his mom an email. She's the boss of the company that he works at. And I think she should know that her employee is being a fucking psychopath, whether it's her son or not. So, yeah, never going to tell you who did it. But it was my idea to call your mommy. Yeah. Fuck you. Like, yeah, they called your mommy because you were being a fucking maniac and people thought they were going to get hurt. So they called your mommy to make sure she put a leash on you. I'm glad we played this video because I wanted to tell that story. It happened to Stephen Greenstreet. It's happened to John Greenwald. It happened to Jeremy Mc. Oh, and by the way, let's just go ahead. One of the best quotes from that space yesterday. It happened to Stephen Greenstreet. It's happened to John Greenwald. Was from UAP Mike. I had said, you know, after this story came out, this is the image that Uplifting Tweets made for UAP Mike. And I said, I can't believe you made a fucking, like, it was something along the lines of, I can't believe you made a meme of John Greenwald beating his son with a dildo. And then he corrects me and goes, I didn't make a meme with John Greenwald beating his son with a dildo. It was a whip. Do you hear this motherfucker? Nah. Nah, he didn't just say that. Nah. Nah. Come on. Come on. Mike, you're fucking, man, I wish I could use a different word here, but it's just not socially acceptable anymore. But you're dumb. You are. Oh, God, dude, there is no combination of words that even the greatest poets that ever existed could combine to describe you. You are a fucking anomaly, my friend. Whew. Unreal. So weird. It happened to Jeremy McGowan. It happened. Oh, by the way, this is Jeremy McGowan's family that they found and posted. They found his wife, and his wife had a picture of her girls. They called the IRS on him because they thought he was cheating on his taxes or something. Like, this is the shit they were doing. Because they were looking for things, and the second they found something, that's what they attacked. They couldn't find anything with me other than I'm an actor, which is awesome in this case because I don't have a permanent employer, so they can't call anybody. At the time, it was COVID, so I wasn't working at a restaurant, and I don't have a criminal record. So they were fucking flummoxed as to what they were going to do with me. So they went after my weight and they went after my girlfriend. And you think I could get just a simple acknowledgement of that from King Milkfart? Fuck no. No way. He plays dumb just like Mike. What do you mean? What did I do? What do you mean? What did I do? This is what you did. This. I got to give it to you guys. You did a great job. I'm glad that you guys archived this. And I know that you guys were harassed. And I know there was some awful shit done to you guys. But you guys are incels too. You guys are incels too. And you do this shit, the same shit, right back to them. But I'm glad you archived this stuff. I really am. Because I think maybe one day it might be used in a criminal case. I've said that a while ago, that somebody's going to there's going to be some criminal like judicial consequences to some of the things you guys have done. And I'm going to laugh when it happens. And guess what? I'll probably get the heads up too. And guess what? I will definitely tweet, hey, get ready. Some UFO psychopath is about to get arrested. And then I'm sure somebody will accuse me down the road of, well, you had planned it. You have planned the arrest of this person. No. And to all sorts of fucking people. And again, like, here's, this sucks. Like, but you are MAGA. Yeah, this looks like another gangbang meme. This is, using Sam's head and putting it in a sexually charged meme. Here's, again, them fucking with Grant Lavac and Hey Ocean, where he took a picture of this girl. And deep down inside, it's all because he just wants to be with her. Really. But because he can't, he instead is going to humiliate her. So he takes a picture of her in her bathing suit, probably from Instagram or something like that. And then he photoshops, if I'm not mistaken, he photoshops an OnlyFans logo around her, just like Joyce did to my girlfriend when she put her in front of a picture of a gangbang coming for her. and then put the caption, you know, hey, what's the point? Like something along the lines of, hey, what's the point of OnlyFans? Like you charge so much for so little. And then puts this picture up of her. Why? Because you don't like her UFO takes, King Milkfart? J-Man? You can find that guy. He's not hard. I would love nothing to do more than to splash your face all over this stream and show people who you are. Because you should be outed. I don't know what's going on with YouTube's policy, and this is the reason why Skyfire News got demonetized was because of King Milkfart, because he makes these copyright claims that you're using a private photo of him, even though you're pulling the image from a public interview that he's done on YouTube. It's a hole in the YouTube process. And he knows about it, and he's taken advantage of it twice with this show, and enough times to get these guys demonetized. Thankfully, I'm pretty fucking careful with him. And I knew when Keemstar reached out, that wasn't going to get overturned because they didn't overturn it the first time. Hi, babe. Hi. Welcome back. All sorts. So you want to know what you need to apologize for? I wonder what. Fucking people. Again, these are just, here's Jay from Project Unity, right? Here's somebody's probably mom or family member. Here's another couple. Here's Sam, Tupacabra's personal information. Like, again, I don't like you, Sam, but this is wrong. This is wrong. But if your response to this was to put a picture of his dead father, and I don't know if that happened, but if that did happen, I get it. I get it. Excuse me 1 second, everybody. I'm going to be right back. All right, I'm back. Had to kiss the lady. And that's another thing. They're upset that I have a girlfriend. They're upset that I don't live at home. They're upset that I have a life outside of UFO Twitter, which I do. And boy, you guys are going to be aware of that life very soon. Very soon. You guys fucked up. You guys chose the wrong side. The minute you question that narrative, that's when they come after you. And real quick, because there was another video here where I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, I hadn't even heard this this recording before. There was something in here about how King Milkfart had a conversation with this guy and basically put him in his place, you know, basically made a phone call and told him, hey, you better chill out on saying this, this, and this. And the guy fell in line. And this happened to me. Like, I've got the phone call too. I got it from UAP Mike. I got it from Chris Wolford. In their basically telling me you better stop doing what you're doing and you better play ball. You better fall in line to the narrative or your shit show is going to, you know, whatever. It's going to, nobody's going to watch. Nobody's going to this. Nobody's going to that. Damn you. The UAP talk. This right here.
Confirm that they take.
This rings so true to me. And the fact that this was the best corner I've ever seen King Milkfart painted into. This is wonderful.
The UAP talk. Sawan and King Milkfart confirm that they take orders on who to attack and who to not attack. Within 48 hours of Sawan going rogue and attacking everyone, he was given the UAP talk.
Seriously, what's going on in Samhain world? It looked like you're a rogue now.
So yeah, I just tweeted that out. So I was pissed at Corbell, but then some people that know Corbell well told me this is how it has to be. Like some people that know Corbell and know what's going on with this disclosure process.
I'm going to tell you right now,
talk to
that's
me about
someone
it
that knows
and told me to
Corbell, without a doubt, is UFO Joe. I still stick by that. I want to say another name, but I'm not 100% sure. But for sure, UFO Joe. Without a doubt. Who would be that other
chill
name?
the fuck out and understand
Who was I talking about there?
why Corbell was doing the way what he is doing. So I'm not going to give him a hard time about it anymore.
Yeah, Salon's had several pull aside talking tos, and he knows what's up. He's been learned.
That's King Milkfart saying that Sawan has had several pull aside. I would talk now, but everything I'm thinking right now, I say in this video. Haven't changed my tune. And it's been since I made this one at least a year. And talking tos. So did I. And he's gonna, he knows what's up. He's been learned. And so he says this, King Milkfart says this in the Twitter space.
I think everything's going to be just fine.
I think everything's going to be just fine. Don't worry. No more rogue tweets from Sawan. We got it under control, just like we got Nathan under control. Don't you worry about it. And just like we learned this weekend, we found out exactly what's going on and who's in charge. It's not Lou Elizondo. He's the inspiration. He's the guy whose behavior has inspired this. This all stems from Elizondo. Excuse me. We have to remake the spear. It's a double barred spear. You ever seen like a fishing spear? Okay, where it's got two arrows on it. Mike and all of those guys are the second arrow. The first arrow is Elizondo. But there's no direct connection. Like, he's not saying, hey, do this. Hey, make this meme. Hey, attack this person. But what he does is he'll like a tweet. He'll say something in a show. He'll intimate or imply as someone that's attacking him, like Greenwald or me or Green Street. His buddies like Cahill literally tell people that they're looking up people's IP address that start with the words Green, Goff, Wald. They inspire these guys. They are the North Star for this behavior. And that's what I was screaming about when I ended UCR. I've been right this whole fucking time, and it's taken almost 2 years to get here. And now I'm looking fucking flossing, baby. Yeah, Sam, I'm an actor. Part of this is an act, motherfucker. I'm doing a show. I got to entertain my people. And that's why this show has been so successful from the fucking start. Because I'm entertaining. But I'm also being honest as I possibly can be. And own my mistakes when I make them. But when it comes to this, I've been fucking right the whole time. And the apologies prove it. The fucking track records prove it. And the silence from Lou Elizondo is the most deafening of it all. He is the fucking source and the inspiration for this. But he's not directing these guys. He's got to keep more than an arm's length away from shit like this, especially if he's a military contractor. Watch your asses out there. I'm telling you. I've been telling you.
Can you tell Uplifting tweets to unblock me? I don't know why he blocked me.
Uplifting tweets, by the way, Matt Ford. Matt Ford. It's not Matt
I
Ford.
love King Milk
I'm wrong.
Fart.
Through that, wrong on that. Wrong on that. I thought I had a theory that Matt Ford and Uplifting Tweets were the same person because he was making his graphics. He was making t-shirts. Matt Ford loved them. Like, it was like, if worst case, they were buddies. But yeah, let me correct that. Matt Ford is definitely not Uplifting Tweets, and we know that because we got his confession yesterday in a Twitter space. Count supporting harassment, doxing, and all sorts of crazy shit by this guy right here. Threatening phone calls, leaving voicemails, things like that.
I think he got mad that I was implying him in something. I was saying Corbell's a grifter, and I think he took it as I was saying he was a grifter as well.
No. He was just I'm sure, like most people, he didn't know that you had the talk.
The talk. I'm telling you, there are a lot of people who've had the talk. And if you've had this talk, you know what I'm talking about? You want to come tell your story on my show? Please do. Get at me. Hit me up on Twitter. I'd love to talk to you and compare notes because I know I'm not the only one. But listen to what somebody asks him the next day in a new space.
The next day.
So, Milkfart, you haven't gotten to talk yet? Only Sawan has? He's the only one who got the talk from your handlers yet?
From who?
Who? What? I didn't hear. What?
From your handlers, the people who tell you who is okay to attack and who you need to calm down on. Like they gave a talk to Sawan earlier.
People are telling him to calm down on certain people. Kind of like Nick told me that he told Milkfart to calm down on certain people. That was Nick from Invisible Night School. So I don't think you're involved in this thing, but you could see why people like this would link you to shit like this because behind the scenes, you're buddy-buddy with this guy.
That I am currently on the side of King Milkfart.
And that's why it looks bad. That's why I'm making this show. That's why I'm calling you guys out. Long pause.
Okay, but who are these people?
Who are these people?
You tell me, bro.
It's
no,
so
like
sad
genuinely, I don't know what you're talking about.
Look, okay, I'll put
this
it.
This is what he does. Genuinely, I don't know what you're talking about.
The people who you said gave a talk to Sawan and told him to calm down on UAP, Dan and them. Who is it that is giving these talks to people and saying it's okay to attack these people and not these people?
I tweeted at Sawan a couple times telling him to chill. Is that what you mean?
No, I'm talking about the people in the space yesterday that you were
mean.
talking about that you said gave him a talking to and he's going to be good now.
Oh, those people. Yeah, no, I don't know who they are. That was what Sawan told me. Yeah,
and again, those are probably some of the best questions I've ever heard from Red Panda. I wish he would ask those kinds of questions to UAP Mike. Where's all your hard-hitting journalism when he's not your buddy? Or actually, he is now, isn't he? You guys are like best friends now, even though he had more organization and more power and more influence on what was happening to all of us than King Milkfart. I think King Milkfart is getting not a bad rap. He deserves everything he's getting, but he is not as responsible or as culpable. Well, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell. Honestly, I'm not going to make a prediction on which guy was more of a scumbag. Why? What's the point? But I do think he gets the brunt of this more than Mike does. And that to me seems weird because Mike for a long time loves to shape what people think about him. That's all he does. And man, I've gotten some crazy stories again about Mike, about King Milkfart, about all you guys. People offer information to me, and I'll read it every time. Every time. People are fucking laughing at him. They know that's not true. Ask King Milkfart, who are these people? Why do they leave voicemails? Why do they threaten? Why do they give a talk to people? Why are they not allowed to express their frustrations when they get frustrated with the fake disclosure that you guys are helping push? Like being on that cabbie show, you're helping push fake disclosure and really terrible conversations. Conversations that are way beneath the intelligence of you, Leah, specifically, because you're on that show. Like, and then you hear shit like this. And again, this is like, and it just, there's similarities. This is the first show I did on the text messages of Leah Prime. This was a long time ago. Definitely last year, for sure. It was shortly after all those messages. It wasn't too long after all those Tupa Discord messages came out that I did this show. And I figured out, it was 5 months, because that's how long it took me to figure out who Leah Prime was. So that was, I think we went over the timeline. I think it was last February. So over a year. I did the show over a year ago. I have a feeling more is going to come out. Oh boy, prediction of the year. I know people are looking into things.
A NASA security team is actively addressing this issue.
Just like I said with Tupa. I'm saying it here now. Like, I don't think this is over. And just like I'm saying with Tupa and King Milfart, and especially Mike and RPK, same thing. I'm telling you now. And if I have sent some DMs out there to people that I respect, that I see putting out a lot of defense for those guys. And my simple advice is, look, I like you. I care about you. I'm telling you this because I've seen it now. This is the third time. I'm telling you. This is not going to end in a place where you're going to be happy with it. And you can take the advice or you can ignore it. But I think at some point, just like them, you're going to come back to me and apologize for ignoring me. And it's your own doing. Like, I don't want any part of this. Like, There's clearly a group of guys that are being told what to do and who to harass. And that's where I got it wrong. It's a group of guys that are being told what to do or come up together as to what to do. And that changes constantly because it is literally a cancer that just constantly grows and sort of morphs itself. So, but I there's no direct contact with people above them. They just look up to the inspiration to do this kind of stuff. And that's where Tupa and Panda have it wrong. They have it wrong. They have no evidence whatsoever, and good luck finding it. This has been already confessed yesterday in that space. Again, they confess to what happens and how it happens and who to chill out on. It's Mike.
Dude, they got balls on all of them.
We're not gonna play this one. This is UFO Shane. Maybe I don't know if I'll tweet this out. How about that? And then you guys can. I don't even need to tweet this out. Just go to the King Milkfart Harassment Archive, and you can find all these videos. But this is just UFO Shane, who talks about this private Discord and all these guys talking in it, and how they want to, they just want to destroy us. They want to destroy all of us simply for having an opinion. And James Doyle, thank you for the $5 donation, saying putting family into memes should be off limits. Tough to defend that. Just like the Celtics. Celts in 5. Thank you. And fuck the Celtics. Fuck Boston. How about that? Oh my God. They're playing right now, man. And this show's going to go long. Fuck. Damn it. Shit. All right. Let's go. Lou, come on. Speed it up. All right. Here we go. Let's get to Richard Doty, which I hope is why all of you are here. Okay, where did the whole Doty space? Okay, This is one video I want to play before I go over yesterday's space, okay? This is one video I want to play of Richard Doty and Thomas Fessler. I've played this video before, and honestly, it was a moment of concern for me a little bit, because when Doty says shit like this, I don't know what the hell is going on. And I've covered this before, but let's just play it real quick because it happens again, twice, in the conversation that happened yesterday.
On that note, what the heck you doing, Rick? Great to see you back again.
Thank you for having me, Thomas. And A-Rod and I are going to go out on a search and destroy mission trying to find those enemies of you that are sticking pins in your Thomas Fessler doll, causing those migraines. We're guaranteed that we're going to find those people.
He's talking about me, because I'm the one who is making videos about Thomas Fessler and his gross ass. If you want to know if you don't know who this guy is, you're brand new to ufology and you find this face in front of you, run. Shut it off, go outside, go do something, anything else than listen to this snake in the grass. And again, we've got an email from this shithead's producer talking about Rob Heatherly and Lou Elizondo digging up information on people. I do believe Elizondo is definitely talking to Rob Heatherly. That is clear as day, because Rob Heatherly was the guy blackmailing me along with Richard Butt for an apology for Lou Elizondo. Rob Heatherly was tweeting out my private text message details between Lou Elizondo and myself that nobody else had, and tweeting them out there, telling me I know exactly what was said in those messages, confirming that Lou gave him the message. So we've got the email from this guy's producer talking about the coordination between Elizondo and Rob Heatherly. And Rob Heatherly's no longer in this show, but at the time he was also coordinating with Fessler. And the thing that Gary, the producer, had, and God, Gary, where are you? Where have you been, man? We need you more than anything, because he claims he's got a hard drive full of behind the scenes discussions when the show goes off live, but is still recording because he uses OBS. And those things, he's got all of them. And he proved it to me by leaking a little clip of audio of Sean Cahill talking shit about me behind the scenes. And this is when they were calling me their friend. And Lou was still on my show. So dirty, disgusting little maggot. But when you hear this guy who is an AFOSI fucking agent, okay, telling Fessler, we're going to find me and this other guy are going to do a deep dive in a recon mission to find this guy putting pins in the Thomas Fessler doll that's giving him migraines. A threat. I asked them about this in a space a few months back. We covered it. I don't have it in front of me right now, but I asked them, what the fuck did you mean by that? Were you looking up information on me? And he goes, ha, 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 ha. I was just kidding. I was just kidding. As soon as he said that yesterday, I was like, where have I heard this before? Oh, yeah, a couple months ago. So I wanted to preface what I did to Doty with that. And now let's go. This is going to be a blast. Oopsies. Sorry. Oopsies. This is going to be fun, because what I did to Doty yesterday had him fucking spinning. And you know what? And Panda is like, Red Panda, oh, he feels so bad. He feels so bad for Richard Doty because I lied to him. but in the next breath told him exactly that I lied to him. Oh my God, it's the best moment. Honestly, it's the best moment in this show's history. It's up there. It's up there. I mean, Big Phone Home 3 was really good, but this one's up there. Okay, let's pop that video. Where are you? Where's my Doty? Where's my good old Doty? Doty. And Doty's got a handler, which is great. He's got a couple of handlers and people that just will block and fight everything you say that sort of questions any part of Doty's bullshit. And I don't know if we'll get into that, but let's let this play. I'll stop it when it's appropriate.
You can't handle the truth.
Thanks, Rick. Go ahead, Lou.
Right, this is the whole, yeah, okay, this is the whole thing. All right, so this is all of my questions from the first one to the last one for Richard Doty. And to be fair, let me also preface this with this. Doty's handlers, a guy that name goes by the first name Clint Dribble, I think that's his Twitter handle. I think his real name might be Eric. I'm not 100% sure on that, because he's got a couple profiles. He genuinely let me come up there and ask questions. And he, I'd say about 3 or 4 weeks ago, this guy really did not like me. And I've been softening him up, not in preparation for this, but just, hey man, let's discuss this. Again, I want to make sure that people who hate me have an actual opportunity to interact with me, because when they do, they don't get the stories or the interactions that, Mike and Panda and Tupa and all these other people do. They just don't get that. If you want a rational, logical discussion with me, you have to give the respect before you get it from me. If you're not going to give it to me, and especially if you've never spoken to me, you're going to get a side of me. Yeah, it's going to be condescending and a dick. I'm going to talk to you the way you're treating me. So that's the rule. Anyway, let's go.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Thanks, Rick. Go ahead, Lou.
Oh, man, thank you so much. Okay. God, it feels like forever. Thanks for hosting a fun space. I have one question that doesn't have anything really to do with this. I really wanted the answer to this question more than anything. In this time period of the 1980s. And then I have one very serious UFO question, if that's okay. The first is, I've heard stories about, and God, I wish I was there. I've heard stories about John Lear, Bob Lazar, George Knapp, and you partying your asses off. Is there any fun stories that you could tell this crew about you guys hanging out and maybe some trouble you got into? Because when I see you, Rick, I think to myself, fuck, I bet that guy was insanely fun to hang out with when he was in his prime. So do you have any fun stories like that?
Well, I never partied with Lazar. I met him once in person at a UFO convention, so that's.
What about Knapp and Lear?
Well, I'll just say that we went out a few times. I'll just leave it at that.
Yes. Oh, you 1980s. Oh my God. Okay, so you guys were probably doing a little bit of the Bolivian snow round, huh?
I can't feel my face. I mean, I can touch it, but I can't feel it inside.
I don't answer that, Rick. You don't have to. I get it. But man, fuck, dude. I would love to one day just talk about those parties. The very other real question I had, ever since you've mentioned these races by the way, I'm sure aliens, everybody's probably wondering why I'm using this picture. It's self-deprecation. It's humor. It's funny. And I also want to put it, I'm the intimidating failed actor setting up Rick Doty here. I'm the tough interview in this world. So that's why I did this. What are you looking at over there?
You look like Lord Farquaad.
I do look like Lord Farquaad. That's fair. Go for it. Make the memes. Lord Farquaad. Lord Luquart. I looked into a couple of them,
Mr.
and
Christian,
I
thank you for the
honestly
sub.
got some hitbacks on I think it was the Ebens or one of those that
Listen.
had that there were some crash sites in Alaska. Have you heard anything like that, or do you know anything about that?
Yeah, there were. There were crash sites in Alaska for a couple of those species. Two different species, two different crash sites, and two different time periods.
Wow.
Wow. You know, I hate to break this to you, man. I completely made that up.
Well, I tell you, one was at Nome in 1971 at Tin City Air Force Station.
Okay, here's I think what just happened here. So I set him up like, story about the 80s, which I genuinely, I want the answer to that question more than any other question Richard Doty can answer. I want to know what that fucking party was like. Where were you? What kind of drugs were you doing? How many chicks were there? Like, I want to know all of it, okay? But of course, we didn't get any details on that. That's cool. But then I threw out there the idea of, because he talks about 4 races of aliens. So I said, hey, when you mentioned that, I went back to a couple of my military buddies, and I got some hitbacks about the Ebens crashing, being a major UFO crash in Alaska. Can you tell me if that's true? And he goes into his thing, like, no problem, right? Tells me, yeah, there was 2 crashes. They recovered this thing, blah, 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 blah. Wow, Rick, amazing, man. Wow, he just gave us some killer information. Except I just made it up. I literally made that up on the fucking spot. And he was so entrenched in his bullshit mode that he didn't realize what I just said to him. And he just continued on. And then he realizes by the end of it, oh, wait a second, I think I just got played. Listen to this.
Bruh. And the other one was, I have it right here. And the other one was found in the field.
So 2 crashes.
2 miles
Alaska.
Inside
I made it up.
The Canadian border, east of Eielson Air Force Base. The craft that crashed at that location was 1966 and had been there probably for a number of years. They found it during the thawing. So
okay.
I don't know if you're pulling my leg or you're just lying. But
I because the reason why I did that, Rick, I don't want to be big.
Are you an experiencer?
I am. Yeah, actually, I am. I did
And
experience them when I was 13. But what I've found since I've been researching this a lot is people will tell you anything they want you to hear and believe. And, so when I hear the stories about, all of this classification, but then you turn around and you start talking about races and stuff like that and how they're 100% real, but there's no paperwork that proves any of this stuff. And man, like, again, if I could have a time machine and I could go back to 1986 and party with you guys, I think I'd have a really great time. But it just, when you cite Gaia as like some kind, like, they're not a news organization. They don't do heavy fact checking there. That's
sure
not
don't.
A place
Listen to his answer
like
to
an
that.
institution of, where people go to for facts and truth. It's an entertainment channel.
Long pause. Pretty quiet.
That was is that it? Guy has watched.
Okay. One more question.
Guy has watched by about 1 million people. Okay, around the world. Okay, so it's
Gaia's got about 1 million people around the world. Okay, and weird. Emily Louise from Weird Reads with Emily. If you haven't, go sub right now. She was in this space earlier too, and I do have a couple other recordings, and another day I will play them. There are some other good questions in this, but I'm just gonna do mine. But I follow up a question because she wants an answer to this. because people think Doty worked for the CIA, and there's a lot of sort of arrows that point in that direction, and there could be reasons, good reasons as to why maybe it appears that he worked for the CIA, but there's also some good reasons as to, yeah, well, it looks like he worked for the fucking CIA, plus all the bullshit he did. I mean, he was trained by somebody, right? But yeah, so I tried to follow up here with a question about where he was stationed, and he got stationed to Germany, and that was for her. But he kind of bullied, he not bullied, but he sort of bulldozed through that. But listen to what he says. There's millions of people that work for Gaia around the world. So therefore, that must mean they check facts.
Last question. You were transferred to Germany in 19. You were transferred to Germany in 1984.
He doesn't like this question.
Can you tell us why?
A lot of investigations on the people they bring in there, and they learned that from the Corey Good, and I came in after Corey Good.
Oh, okay.
So they do.
You came in after
so let's
Corey
go to the
Good.
next question. You've
Let's
already
go.
asked your 4 questions, I guess.
Thank you so much.
You want answers! I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Beautiful, right? Okay, so here's the actual footage from the space. So that's what this is. That's why the screen's changed.
Oh, gosh. What do I want to ask Rick Doty? There's so many questions. Rick, in your opinion, who is the worst person that people should be very wary of in the UFO community that you know is 100% full of it?
Now, I'm asking him this question because if he's such a good steward for the community, it should be really simple. I mean, it should, hey, just be careful for the information that, I don't know, Linda Moulton Howe puts out, or Jeremy Corbell, or, Jason Sands, who he doesn't like. Like, he could have said Jason Sands. Like, there's so many people that, if you care about the community, you should be able to warn them, hey, like, who are the shitheads? Right? I think it's a fair question.
One person.
Yep.
That person.
You said Corey Good, and you said, I think, David Wilcock. Is there anybody outside of that? Like somebody who's active in the community right now where you're like, gosh, man, that's just really bad information. And even at some point, I think that would send some people down some pretty scary rabbit holes that just end in wasting money or precious time. Is there anyone out there like that you would warn the community against?
Well, there's a William Pullen. He spreads. He's a Phil Class. Everybody lies. Nobody in the world can tell the truth. Only William Pullen.
What about
Blue and Grush and me and Dr. Putoff and Eric? Well, everybody's telling a lie. He's the only one in the world who can tell the truth. So I'd say him. There's a German guy that, and I'm not even going to say his name, but there's a guy in Germany that doesn't necessarily call me a liar, but he calls the United States government a liar. He thinks that the entire UAP phenomena was created by the government to facilitate all these other weird world events. I think he's psychologically deranged. I had conversations with him before, and so I think people like that. But I'm not going to say anything other than what I just said about people.
Thank you, Rick. Go ahead, Dr. Oliver.
It's a big day. So, nothing crazy, not a really great answer.
No, you there?
Yeah. Sorry. Thanks.
Okay. All right. You got it.
Yeah.
Here's my third question.
I appreciate, rotating everybody out and stuff. I totally get it. I just want, there are some folks who, weren't being rotated out. So I just thank you for clearing that up. Rick, I have some really great military buddies that are also experiencers. And I think, honestly, one of the best things that you could do, and if you are interested in this, I would love to set it up, where we do an open space like this or an interview with these other military guys.
So here I'm asking him to come do an interview with Jeremy McGowan. Come do an interview with Paranormal Chris. And so because they were in this questioning too. And by the way, there's a great breakdown from Jeremy McGowan. Go fucking check it out. I was trying to play it on this show, but I just don't, my girlfriend's so hungry. I was supposed to end the show right now, but I still have stuff to obviously go over. So yeah, just go check out McGowan's video, because it just got the attention of Fred Durst. Fred Durst followed McGowan and he only follows 4 people. So his video got the attention of Fred Durst. So definitely go check it out after this show's done. Okay, McGowan, get your own fucking audience, buddy. I'm kidding. I'll try. We'll see how much time we have, but I don't think we'll play it tonight.
Being Air Force, former Air Force, and try and pick at you as much as we can so we can get as much foilable things to verify some of the things you're saying, because I think that's the biggest thing is people want verification. I think, at least for me in this field, I'm kind of done with trust me, bro. Like, I don't want to do any more trust me, bros in this conversation. And the thing with, I don't want to say the thing with you, Rick, because I don't want to offend you, but it's a lot of trust me, bro. This is real. And all of the documents that are publicly out there, unfortunately, aren't any smoking guns. And that's what the community needs, is a smoking gun. So would you be down to just have some real military guys that are also incredibly good at FOIAing things to
as you're a Twitter handler, Rick, I would say that you'll need to consult with me first on that one.
Okay. So there you go. Like, he's got a handler that comes out after, like, why would you need to consult Rick on that? Like, why wouldn't you want him with some Air Force guys who speak the same language as him, you know, and me to be like, hey, man, we could bring you too, Clint. Like, you could be there if you wanted to. But Rick Doty's a big boy, and I get into that later. Because remember that threat. Just remember that threat that I played for you at the beginning of this. Okay? Because that comes back here in a second. Again, put a pin on that. But, like, listen to what I say here.
Why is the truth? The truth shouldn't be afraid of these questions, right?
No. But
he agrees.
We did this.
But trolls trying to get at the truth would be a problem. We want to avoid trolls. That's what we're trying to do here.
We did this a long time ago. About
a
year and a half ago, we did this in a podcast where I listed and I got the stuff from Charlie.
I asked him with who. We don't get an answer to that. Right. And here was the thing with this space. It was like 5 hours long. And I would ask questions like this. And then when I would start pointing even more, I'd get dropped down and said, oh, we're recycling. But yet when a believer goes up there and sucks his ass, it's like, okay, yes, you get recycled, but you don't get kicked out and dropped down while he's still answering his question. Because a lot of the times people get, sometimes, you know, you go up there, you get to ask 2, sometimes 3 questions. A lot of the times they kept mine to 1, 2 at max. You know, the first one, obviously, that's where I pulled the good one. And then I think now they're a little more sort of on top of me throughout the rest of the conversation.
The guy I mentioned earlier, I think he gave me, I don't know how many websites. Just go to those websites. And we listed those websites and they were out there.
I'm aware of the websites, but like, again, like out of all of the websites, out of all of that stuff, there's been nothing yet that has come out as a smoking gun. And that's kind of what we're looking for. So clearly the stuff that you went over a year ago hasn't been good enough to move the needle, right?
Right.
So I think we just need to start over and try again. And, you know, Clint, like, I think I've had at least a few spaces here in the last couple of weeks with you where I think you know where I'm coming from.
And here's the thing too, right? Like, this is what sucks about these conversations, okay, is I have to preface everything I ask with, you know, hey man, I think I've been pretty cool here. I know I pulled a fast one on your boy, but I think I made a really good fucking point doing it. And like, I think everything that is asked is always asked with, like, they want you to walk on eggshells around this guy. And I don't want to do that. And you shouldn't want people to do that. Nobody should want eggshells at this discussion. Nobody should want that. But for some reason, we do.
And we're not here to troll Rick. And just one last question: where'd you get Ricky Ticky from? Is that
honestly? I was just trying to lighten it up there at the end. Like his handle is Ricky Ticky 166. So just a funny name. Where'd you get it from? What made you think of it? But he doesn't answer.
Is there a story behind that?
Well, first of all, let me tell you that that's your opinion that there's nothing out there, but there's many other people out there that would say there's a conglomerate of information out there.
Okay, so what's the one best thing? What's the one piece?
Not necessarily talk about me or what I said, but what other people, Grush and Lou and other people have said. There's tons of information out there, and I'm not going to do your research for you.
No, I know. But the thing is, Rick,
and other people.
I know, Rick, but I've had Elizondo on my show 7 times, and I don't know if you know my backstory, but he manipulated the fuck out of me.
And that's the thing that I think I have going into these spaces more than all of them. I had the biggest UFO show on the planet for a good 6 or 7 months. I had everyone on my show. So when people say, go do the work, oh, motherfucker, let me show you the receipts. It's a fucking truckload of them. So I'm sorry, that's not good enough. And that's why I continue. And this, I gotta do it this way, because if I don't, they'll kick me down.
He used the fuck out of me, Rick. And so, like, again, I'm not trying to cast doubt. I'm trying to get to the core of this. And
listen to his response.
Unfortunately, none of that data is a smoking gun. And if it is, can you point me to the best piece of evidence that 100% confirms this, that's out there right now in the public domain?
Long pause.
Somebody shut him off? I can't hear him.
Did somebody shut him off? He can't hear me. That's the claim. So watch what I do.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I'll say it again. Can you hear me, Rick?
Listen to this.
No. Yeah, just make it brief though, Lou.
No, Rick, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. I was telling you just as quickly as I can. I know time's valuable. I had Lou Elizondo on my show 7 times, including his father. He manipulated and used me like really badly. He blackmailed me for an apology.
He laughs.
And so the reason why I'm asking these questions is because
after I told him he manipulated me and blackmailed me for an apology, he laughs. Just put another pin in that.
You know, I want the truth just as badly as anyone.
Because I get cut off after this question.
Is like, what is the best piece of evidence that you can point to that is in the public domain that is the smoking gun that what you're saying is true?
Well, first of all, Lou's a counterintelligence officer. Remember that, and he's pretty good at it.
So funny, Rick. So funny. You know, Lou's a counterintelligence officer. Yeah, dickhead, we know. We know. Some of us more than others.
Right, I know, but like no, I get it, but like
okay, I'm gonna tell you. Okay.
Listen to this. Listen how he answers me. Enough.
Go out
Shut
and buy
up.
the Blue Planet Project Trilogy. And it's not me saying this, but there are.
It's not me saying this.
Is that a movie?
No, it's a book.
Can you spell the last word? Project what?
The Blue Planet Project Trilogy. Trilogy. It's there's 3 books in one. One's a Blue Planet Project, Alien Life Forms. Second one, Blue Planet Project Lost Chapters. And the next one is Blue Planet Project Conspiracy. This thing was a banned. It was written by Gil Carlson. It was banned. He was trying to publish it for several years, and it was banned, but it got published. And it contains literally, and I'm not exaggerating, and that's not me saying, but hundreds of pages of information that would be normally classified. Just read that. All right, move on.
Okay, I've recycled some speakers.
Okay, we gotta move around. 8 hands fly, but
No,
thank you for
shitty
your
answer.
contribution.
Listen to this question.
Thanks, Eric. Luke, go ahead.
Thank you. And again, I appreciate all the questions. I mean, I know my questions are seemed as tough or whatever, but I can assure you I'm not a fucking counterintelligence agent or anything like that. I'm not trying to get you in a gotcha, although I did get you in a gotcha.
Yeah, I did.
The one thing that stuck out to me that you said, Rick, when I explained my relationship with Lou Elizondo, and by the way, I don't know if you know this, but I have to preface this by saying that I organized hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours into the largest UAP grass movements effort ever organized for Lou Elizondo. When I mentioned that, you said, well, yeah, he's a counterintelligence agent. So my question to you is that my fault that I got taken advantage of, manipulated, and blackmailed by Lou Elizondo? And why is that okay? And if so, why is that okay? And if it's not okay, why should we trust Lou Elizondo when he uses people in the community like that?
Well, no, I'm sorry if you interpreted it that way. I mean, I was a joke that you said that he.
Where did we hear that before? I'm sorry, you interpreted me laughing at your terrible situation. That was a joke. Oh, no. I didn't mean that. I was looking for information on you to take the pins out of the Thomas Fessler show. No. That was a joke. Fuck you, buddy. I got you. I got you good. And I'm going to keep trying to get you forever now, I think. Because it is clear as day that you are fucking lying. I don't know why Gaia employs you. I don't know why you're in this community. And a lot of people ask you that question, like, what's the motivation? Right? Or how did it go from manipulating Paul Benowitz to now everything's aliens and there's 4 races of beings? How did you go from, yeah, we knew those were drones that Paul was filming, to now alien crash sites in Alaska that I made up? How do you go from there? Why are you doing that? Such a big leap. And there's so many people that fall for this shit. And it's gross. It's gross, your defense of it. And I will call you out when I see it. I don't care how good of friends we are. I do not care. Because these digital relationships with an exception of a handful of people don't mean anything to me, because I've been burned so many times by digital faces, profiles, and words that I don't trust anyone. Almost anyone. And I have good reasons for that. I laid those all out in the first hour and 15 minutes of the show.
He did that to you, and I thought, well, he's a counterintelligence officer.
Okay, all right.
I don't mean anything.
Okay, I appreciate that, but
it was just a joke. I didn't mean
it was just a joke.
No, that's
But his question, hold on, time out.
Here's actually, this is the moment where his handler, who's admitted he's his handler, actually is like, hey, I want to know the answer on that. So hats off to you for doing that. But then there's other parts of this conversation where that goodwill goes out of the water a little bit. because it's like, oh, okay, just listen.
Hold on, Eric, let me say something here. I think that it's kind of like that analogy. If you're gonna pet the bulldog, you should be aware the bulldog could bite. So I believe that there's a little bit of that as well,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
We have a responsibility as well to know who we're talking with. So I'm just saying.
Okay, but let me help out. Let me help out Lou, because I actually I watched Lou from the beginning and I saw the whole thing unwind, and so I have there's a little piece of my heart that goes out to that guy. So he has a fair question, Rick. I mean, I understand that you want to be careful what you say about anybody, but he had an experience. Lou was all in on disclosure. He was trying to help the process. He had a great tremendous roundtable of people. I mean, that was historic in some ways.
Historic.
And then he feels, and I don't know the whole story, he feels that Lou let him down on many levels. If you were advising Lou or somebody that would in the future, forget Lou Elizondo, if somebody were to come along in the future, how would you advise that they go about making decisions if they want to involve themselves with somebody?
Clint, with all due respect, thank you for that. I appreciate it. But
I don't want him commenting on people that don't exist. I want to know what he thinks about Lou Elizondo taking advantage of me and other people in the community. That's the question. So thank you for the defense. I do appreciate it, but you redirected it in a way where he gets to dodge the fucking question. And that's your problem, Clint, is you can't get out of your own way. Like the guy writing the book and the researchers writing the book can't ask better questions than me? The actor? The failed actor? Give me a fucking break. I mean, come on, man.
I don't want to hear about, people that are non-existent in the community. I'd like to know Rick's opinion about those tactics used against American citizens who are doing nothing but trying to help.
Well,
why should we trust Lou Elizondo?
Hypocrisy 101, though.
This guy
he wasn't talking about Americans. He was like just being hypocritical.
Okay, hold on. You
like
can't
these
interrupt.
moments like
Sir.
this, give him more time to think. Give him more time to bullshit. And he's already stalled already. Now he's got an extra 10 seconds because this dickhead keeps chiming in. And this was the first time in the whole discussion where somebody just randomly came in like that. In a 5-hour thing. It's the only time it happened. And dude, it was weird.
Whoever that is, Lou asked Rick a question. It's Rick's the host. Rick's going to answer the question.
Yeah, Lou, I can't answer that question. I don't know what Lou's intentions were to do what he did to you. If he did, in fact, that I would feel as bad as you are that you do about what Lou did to you. I mean, so I don't know. You'd have to ask Lou about that. But
unfortunately, he won't return any of my calls or texts. But I'm just trying to. That's why I ask you the questions that I ask you, because I'm really trying to look out for the community of people and all of these researchers here that are trying to research all this stuff. That's why I want better facts. I want to set a higher bar, Rick. And I want to.
What do you think is the reason?
Aware of this,
this guy comes back in.
What do you?
Thank you, Tabahana, for subscribing.
Please don't talk over people. People have had their hands on a very long time. Just wait your turn, Mr. Thing, please. Thank you.
Okay, Lou Angeles, wrap up your point. I appreciate your point, and then we're going to move over to another.
My point gets interrupted, my thought gets interrupted, and then I'm told after somebody interrupts it to speed it up because my questions are cutting too close to the bone. And my genuine effort to look out for all the people in this fucking room is more of a priority for me, the actor, than the hosts and the handlers. And that's the biggest problem with this hobby. And that's why it is a hobby and not a science. UFOs are not a science. You can't study them at a major university. It doesn't exist. UFOlogy. You can't get a degree in it. Not even at DeVry. So fucking forget about it.
No, I'm just wondering why we don't call people out, especially when their pinned tweet is, I'll never tell a lie, I'll always tell the truth, I'll always, I'll never support any sort of manipulation within this community. And then we get manipulated. And it's like, that's why I'm trying to set a higher bar. And that's why I would love for you to come talk to me and come talk to these veterans that want answers just as bad as everyone. But I just don't want to bring in pre-existing belief systems and ask you questions based off of our beliefs, just so you can just confirm these belief systems.
Like you did earlier.
I want to push back in the most respectful way possible, but how do we do that, Rick, without insulting you?
Long pause.
Okay. That was your question. Okay. I just got one. And let me. This could.
He ignores the question. He goes into his inbox and takes a question from his inbox. That should speak fucking volumes to Clint, to Nicole, to Kent, to King Wakata in there, to Stoned Ape, to Ocean, to all of these folks that I've interacted with. Lucia's Lab, Emily, she already knows. B. He completely, he for a long pause. That's your question? Well, let me answer a question from somebody else. But I come back again.
Question too that I just got
for you, the people.
That somebody was trying to ask, but this is really good question.
I let this play out a little bit here. Just says, so you don't think I'm lying that he blew past my question. But he does.
And this is from somebody I know quite well. If the Air Force was the only branch responsible for crash,
and then they dropped me down.
Stone, who served in the United States,
they dropped me down.
Lied about his experiences with crash.
Hoping.
Can you explain what
that I wouldn't come back up?
You know about this, and so that's a good point. And that's
I put it on a higher speed so you can listen.
Yeah. Now what I can say.
They're going through this. I put it in a higher speed so you know I'm not lying about this.
I don't know anything about an Army recovery system. But
they ignored the question.
Clifford was a friend of mine. He lived a few hundred miles from me here in New Mexico, and I supported.
How disrespectful is that? How fucked up is that? How big of a red flag is that for you, B? How big of a red flag is that for you, Panda? How big of a red flag is that for you, Nicole Sackich? And yeah, I've got some more. Straight up, I'm going to tell you straight up how I feel about Nicole Sackich's investigation, 28-year investigation. That's a slow game to the exact same location that she's been when she started the investigation. There is no slow game when talking to these guys. They're feeding you bullshit. There's nothing they're going to give you other than information that you're going to take to confirm another conspiracy theory. And you've just got yourself in this revolving door of bullshit. And I like you. And I told you this in private messages, but I hate your fucking questions. They're awful. They do not cut to the bone. You might as well just fucking take out a knife that they have in a Play-Doh set, because that's how sharp it is. I want a discussion where everybody's holding scalpels. What's so crazy about that?
Thank you.
Listen to what I say here.
Man, I wanted to follow up with the question.
I want to follow up with that question that you did not fucking answer, but I know that's a waste of my time.
Question from last time, but I know that probably won't go well. So you mentioned,
and let me tell you guys something. For the first time in this show's history, if you really love shit like this, support me financially. Give me as many fucking super chats as you can, because you know what? They fucking hate this show. People like this hate this fucking show. Show them that you fucking love it. And guess what? I've also been thinking about, I was thinking about today. I don't know why I'm stopping this in the middle here, but this just flashed in my head. I no longer do a UFO show. So the worry of putting information behind a paywall in fear that I'm telling secrets behind it was something that I was really weary of, and it's why we've never done a paywall here. But when I'm doing 2.5 hour shows, I think after 2 hours, we're going to start doing paywall shows. Because I'm not selling you anything at all. But this show is covering entertainment. And that's what we're going to do here. Like, I'm not giving you secrets, but to sit in a 5.5 hour space so I could get these fucking clips for you guys and show you that these guys are fucking liars takes a lot of my time. So if you love this shit, support us through Patreon, super chats, and memberships. Seriously. And if you can't do that, I totally understand. Like, share, subscribe, ring the bell. Seriously. I've never begged like that. But that's one of the reasons Milkfart hated my show. And Mike was so jealous of my show. Because people were just giving me money. Because they loved it. Because I made their belief systems all warm and fuzzy and did it in a way that fucking presented it that it was entertaining. But this show right here that we're doing right now is a thorn in the side of ufology. An actor is asking better questions than the journalists. Support the fuck out of this show. Seriously, I've never done that. Like this, right here, right now. Like these answers, if they don't boil your fucking blood, check your pulse, man. This is what we do here. I fucking love talking about this, but I want us all to be holding a scalpel while we do it. So pick up the scalpel with me, will you? Let's cut these fuckers to the bone. I'm fucking pumped. When I got these answers, I got so pumped. Like, I can't wait for Monday. I can't wait. I hate liars. And Richard Doty, Rick Doty, Ricky Ticky, you're a liar. You're a liar. And the fact that you can attract 600 people to a space to listen to your lies and defend your lies and platform and fucking handle you. And when the questions get too tough, get them out of there, baby. Why would you support shows like that with your eyeballs and ears? Support this fucking show. Let us continue. I see some donos. Sassy, thank you. Michael Wade, thank you. And if you can't, that's fine. Like, share, subscribe. Tell people about this show. Tell your friends who are stuck in a fucking conspiracy rabbit hole about this show. Let's do this. Fuck these guys.
That your wife is a believer. Is that right?
No, I didn't say that. I never talked about my wife. The only thing I said about my wife
You
was
were
she's
talking about astrology.
astrology.
And you said,
Oh, okay,
yes,
got it.
yes.
How, is she into the UFO topic as much as you are?
No.
What does she think about your interest in the hobby?
That's between her and I.
Well, like, does she, does she?
I'm asking him to just try and get him to know him better. This is not trying to like paint his wife as an ugly person or anything. I probably should preface this question with that, but I was just like, hey, because I used to ask that question of my guests all the time. What does your wife or girlfriend think about this little obsession of your UFO stuff? They love it. They hate it. Here's why, you know? And really, I wanted to, you'll hear the question I asked him for this line of questioning.
I got to meet Rick's wife. Yeah, and I can
Here
tell
comes
you
the handler.
God's honest truth. Why don't you ask me and I'll tell you? Because
ask me about his wife. Why would I do that?
You know, I'm
I
not.
can tell you this. She's a very nice lady. She's very considerate.
I'm sure she's nice.
Respectful.
I'm just wondering if there's anything maybe that I don't think you could answer this, Clint. But is there anything that you've ever told her that maybe you haven't told the rest of us? When it comes
regarding
regarding
the subject of UFOs,
yes,
or UAP?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Like what?
It's between her and I.
Well, you can tell her.
And
right?
again, this is also very revealing. If he told his wife, it's not classified. Because if it was classified, he's not allowed to tell his wife. And that is the standard he has set.
Classified. Can you just give us one?
Well, wait a minute. My father has.
Here comes another protector.
Retired from Groom Lane.
Here comes another.
My father has shared
protector.
I promised I would never share until he passed away. So I personally would respect someone's private familial relationship.
Okay.
Boring.
Thank you.
Boring.
But I want to say, okay, Rick, I'm going to drop a bomb here. I hope it doesn't piss you off. Okay, but take this in fun, guys. It's a true story. I swear to God, it's true. So I meet.
And we go on to the next thing. And I think the last clip here is the one with Mario
Woods.
And
are you telling me that you?
Okay, yeah. So before this clip picks up here, there is like, you know, a little sort of ode to Rick Doty from Mario Woods. And if you don't know who Mario Woods is, check out season 2 of Unidentified. He's got a very interesting experience where he's on a nuclear base and he wakes up in a truck 9 miles away from his post with his partner. And yeah, it's weird, but there's also very rational explanations to how they got there. And if you want to get an idea, Google MK Ultra, and then you kind of get a clue of, yeah, okay, I can see how maybe they do this to military guys all the time, just so that way the UFO stories keep coming out in the site and into the zeitgeist by really smart, really qualified people like Mario Woods. So that's my very short, abridged Mario Woods thing. Okay. So the handler comes in and starts asking, you know, first of all, they cut me, right? Like I was next in line to get questions, and then I had to wait another fucking 10 or 12 minutes to get through this whole thing, which I got the last part of here. And then watch what happens, okay? It's so they do this ass kissing of Rick, and then they ask Mario Woods, like, hey, what do you think of Rick Doty? Like, is he a good guy? Do you think he's trustworthy? And of course, all the responses are, yes, definitely trustworthy. I actually saw him on the base, and we'll hear that story here. And then it goes to my question, okay? And we'll see that one in a second. And then after that, the very next person comes in and goes right back to this discussion. Like, they did everything to buffer any responses or thought before and after my question. This is when they were totally caught on, finally caught on. Again, like, it's not even like it was a plan. It was just like, I had the fucking time. I had the time to sit here. My girlfriend was out of town. I could devote the time to a Rick Doty conversation. Let's see how many times I get up there, because the handler, Clint, said he committed to me in another space that, hey, if you come up there and your questions are respectful and you're not asking the same thing over and over and over again, then we'll let you up and you can ask as many questions as you want. And to be fair to Clint, he absolutely did that. He absolutely did that. Okay. So let's continue.
Physically saw Rick Doty there. Is that what you're saying? And Rick is acknowledging that.
Absolutely, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
he was
I kind
there
of
and I
made
was
that
there.
point facetiously, so others like Lou could realize that Rick Doty actually did this work. So here's testimony right here live on Twitter.
Yeah. I'm 68. I'll be 69 in September.
They're
Born in 55.
confirming.
Rick, how old are you?
They're confirming all of these things, and you notice he mentioned my name. Like, yeah, you guys were there, so both of you confirmed. So that means he was definitely there, right? Just to confirm for Lou. Let's see how many more times they confirm this bullshit for me.
About the same age. I'm 70.
You're 70. Okay. What was your rank at that particular time?
We were just OS agents. We didn't have a rank.
You just did. So you weren't you enlisted? Were you weren't you were officer?
No, I was an officer. I was an officer.
Okay.
Officer.
All right. Yeah, I just wasn't sure, so that's why I asked. But
All right, Mario, let me ask you a question, Mario, please, because I'm sure you paid a lot of attention to a lot of things, and I'm sure you probably listened to Rick talk and maybe some of these spaces and other things. And what's your general, I'm assuming you're going to be completely candid right now, what's your general impression of Rick and what he's trying to do and the message? Are you skeptical of Rick? Do you have any hard questions? I mean, you're a guy that was there, did that, had an experience. You're an old timer. You've observed a lot of things. What's your take? That's what I want to know.
What's your take? What do you think about Rick?
Just Rick Doty? What?
So
Lou, what's your gut on the things that he talks about and what he says and what he's trying to do now?
What do you think?
He's lived his path. He's chosen his path, and he's done well in his path in which he's on. I don't have any qualms with Rick in any way, and if I did, I wouldn't have asked him anything point blank concerning my particular briefing or debriefing that morning that he was there and present. It's been an ongoing trek for all of us, in my opinion. And it's ongoing for him as well as it is myself.
So you relate to the things he talks about because of your own personal experiences. So you see no reason to disbelieve him. Is that what you're saying?
No, I would never say something like that about him. Why would I even venture in that realm for? No. I mean, I worked for the United States Department of Energy for almost 14 years.
Why would I
so
say the guy who's full of shit is full of shit? Especially after I confirmed we worked at the same base. We even saw each other one time. Oh, man. Why would I say that guy? Because then that would undercut all the bullshit I might be talking about. Or I'm just gullible enough to believe. I think it's probably the latter.
Sandia, Los Alamos, Oak Ridge National Laboratory, General Electric neutron devices. I've seen tests of elements in the 450 area at Los Alamos. Excuse me?
I said Lawrence Livermore. I had to throw in that lab.
Nicole gets her name. Yeah, you were also at Lawrence Livermore there, Mario Woods. Can you please come be on my book? Can you please come do my book? That's gonna reveal nothing new, or nothing transformative, or nothing mind-blowing, or nothing that leads us to actual answers on this topic.
Yeah. Sorry, that's my Sarfati lab.
Yeah, and then the references Sarfati is like he's some great guy. There's another douchebag in Jack Sarfati. Oh gosh, man.
Well, Mario, thank you very much, Mario. I think that was very.
Thanks, Mario.
But we still got Lou reviews. We got to give Lou reviews the last shot, if that's okay, Rick. One more shot from Lou reviews.
So they preface all of these qualifications, the labs they worked at. They've got the people defending him and chiming in, and they're all like setting up for me to fail this moment. And I think this is my best moment in the whole conversation. And this is a moment that was clipped out by Skyfire News and then sold on their feed as if I told Doty I wasn't a disinformation agent when I disinformed him at the top of the show. And they used that to try and paint me as an actual disinformation agent. That's your buddy, Red Panda B. That's your buddy. That's your buddy, Stoned Ape. Let's listen to how I handle that setup, because they left that out of the Skyfire News part. And I think that's important.
I'll keep it real quick. I only have a suggestion for everyone in this room listening, and that is simply quit treating Rick Doty with kid gloves. He's a big boy. He can answer questions on his own. And don't be afraid to ask Rick hard questions. And when he gives you answers where he gets super frustrated, I think that speaks volumes.
Lou, let me chime in real quick. I
Here
don't
comes
want me to
Nicole.
cut you off.
Here comes Nicole. I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm going to cut you off. She's got to save her buddy, Rick. She's got to show Rick that she's there to defend him. Fuck you, Nicole. Like, straight up, girl. Again, I like you, but that's a fucked up move. And listen to what Rick Doty throws on me for now a third. Again, first it was a threat, then he laughed at my situation, and now he weaponizes this entire audience against me.
Me and you are having a little like word share back and forth though.
Hold on. Nicole grabs the floor now, Lou.
Why?
I was about to say,
You see?
Vinny.
They're trying to get me out of there, and I'm not letting them do it because there's no reason for anybody to have stopped me saying from what I'm saying. They just don't want to fucking hear it. They don't want it. They want no. If what he's saying is true, this isn't going to end his career. Wake up. Wake the fuck up.
Take control, Vinny.
No, I want Lou to finish and then I want a rebuttal.
Thank you. I'm about to get out of here. Clint, if you want to have a discussion about the answers that we got today later in a different space, not today,
he'll never do it,
but sometime later down the road, I would love to go over the answers that we got today from Rick Doty. And Nicole, love you to death, but there's nothing in your...
We'll hash it out too. It all goes on the timeline.
Hold on, let me finish, girl.
Stop
There's
talking.
Nothing in your book that is going to reveal anything that is going to get us closer to any sort of truth. Have a great weekend, guys.
Well, Lou, don't leave yet. Let me ask you,
I'll listen.
I'll listen.
I mean, I know maybe you and I have different definitions of what a tough question is.
No, we
but,
don't.
I mean,
you do.
The last question I asked Rick, that took like 7 years for that to even be able to unfold. And then so like the question you asked tonight is like who he thinks is most ridiculous in ufology.
Now she's trying to fucking mock me. And that wasn't the question. I didn't ask him who was the most ridiculous. I asked him who should people be weary of. I see you, Nicole. Took me a while, but I see you now. I've seen this for a long time now. It started last year when you and Dave Scott called me scared out of your minds because Lou Elizondo and Sean Cahill were fucking up Canadian UFO disclosure for you guys. They were self-sabotaging it, and they wanted to compare notes from Big Phone Home 3. And then when I told them to go public about it and back me up and say, hey, they just did this in Canada, they shut the fuck up and didn't say anything. Both Dave Scott, Nicole Sackich, and Grant Cameron, her fucking God. This is what happens when you fucking lie to me, Nicole. I'm gonna call you out. And this is what I do with everybody. I've got zero tolerance for bullshit. Zero. You want to have a discussion? You want to be rational? You want me on your side? Don't do shit like this. Don't say shit in private and then do something different in public. But listen to what Doty does after this.
So, I mean, Nicole, I just think we have a difference of what a tough question is.
Nicole, you missed
and I know you haven't read Grant's books. So the ones that I am continuing book 2 and book 3 are a continuation of 3 books that Grant's already written before.
3
and
books.
To my knowledge, he has never written one that says, this is Rick Doty. So, of course, the books to come aren't just about Rick. So there's more to this than just Rick. And
okay, yeah, and in
so
those,
I don't ask him kit glove questions. I think he knows that. And I think that's why we have a good repertoire.
No, that's not why.
Okay, Lou, you're going to get dropped, Lou. I just want you to know, so don't
I
trip
know,
on it, okay?
I know. That's the way it always goes
And
here.
Lou, and
No, it is
I love
because,
Lou
Lou, you
too.
are the only guy.
Now they've
Lou is the
turned
smartest guy in the room, and that's where you kind of blow your whole cover, Lou, is you are not
Well,
the smartest guy in the room, but
hey
you want
guys,
everyone
so
to
just
think
how I
that.
stick up for Rick, I stick up for Lou Jimenez too, though. Like
No,
he
you
and I
don't.
are cool. We talk about a lot
But
of
he
things
is
and
not the
get
smartest
heated.
guy in the
So
room.
I'm not trying to be the
let
smartest
me
guy.
let me say
love you,
something.
Lou.
Lou, it's my impression that you are a disinformation person that's planted in these rooms.
That's the second time in history that Rick Doty has done that. The first guy was Bill Moore, who told everybody at a MUFON convention, I think in '89, that Doty was full of shit and all of this was a fucking ruse. He was one of the best investigators. He was one of the most respected people in ufology. He came out and told the truth at a MUFON convention. They were booing him as he left. And that man has never been seen since. And he just compared me to him. I've been put into company with Bill Moore. Grazie. Thank you very much. That's honestly the best fucking compliment I've ever received in ufology. But the difference between Bill Moore and me is I ain't going anywhere. I'm going to expose you motherfuckers, and I am constructing the largest mirror to force you to look at yourselves and come to the realization that you are in a cult. And it's because of people like Rick Doty. He just weaponized that entire room. Now, everybody who loves Rick and maybe has the inclinations of a King Milkfart or a UAP Mike now have the ammunition to come after me. And I knew that as soon as he fucking said it. So what did I do? Well, let's listen.
Informed, you're not approaching anything with an open mind. All you want to do is argue and distort facts and call people liars. So that's my impression of you.
Didn't call one person
that
a
you
liar.
are in fact a disinformation person in this room.
Okay,
Look,
well,
I'll stick up for Lou,
just,
though,
Nicole,
now.
hold on a second, Nicole. I'd like to address that. I would love for anyone here. Here's my full name, Luis Victor Jimenez. Anyone could go find out right now if I'm a disinformation agent, like a claim that you just fucking made right now. So now you've just weaponized all the people in this room to come after me. Well, now you guys have my full name. So go for it and find out what department within the government I work for. Because Ricky Ticky just put a fucking label on me like that.
Hey, this is
asshole.
Well, you put a label on
asshole.
me.
Asshole. What label did I put on Rick? Other than he can't answer questions. That's the label that you would put on yourself, dickhead. I never labeled you once in any of these, in any of this fucking audio I just played. Your answers labeled you. And what you did there, fuck, man. If I get hurt by a UFO psychopath, I hope the cops come to your fucking door, because that's now the third time that you have downplayed either a threat or laughed at fucking manipulation and blackmail. And now you've weaponized an entire room of people to come at me and call me disinformation and have idiots like your buddy RPK be. I'm screaming at you. Have your buddies RPK then clip that and spread it on Twitter as if it's real because Doty gave his stamp of fucking approval on it. Fuck you, Red. Fuck you, Red Panda Koala. And fuck all your friends. If you guys don't see this after I've been screaming at the top of my lungs for, I know the time, because I don't know the dates of these things, but close to 2 years. Fuck you. Like, there's the water. Drink it or don't. At this point, whatever happens to you, you've been warned. $10 donation from Simon Fly. Thank you. Keep doing what you're doing, mate. Fucking thank you. Thank you. Because of donations like that, I don't have to go do Uber for 10 hours. I can stay at home and ask questions like this while I'm working on other things. Fuck, I cannot wait. I know it's a big fucking tease. Trust me, bro. Soon. Soon. Real fucking soon. Woo! Woo! Snort it up like that fucking Bolivian snow root. Fuck you guys, man. Fuck. Get your head out of your ass, B. You're a nice lady, but fuck, you're surrounding yourself with some incels. And people that want to formulate opinions about other people through moments like this. Whew. Whew.
I can put one on you. Okay, let's go. Who was the last one?
Let's go ahead and put Lou in the timeout box.
I'm not even going to let you listen to what Nicole says, because you know what? It's meaningless. It doesn't mean shit, Nicole. Your apologies in our DMs and your actions on what I just saw, we're done. Right, I can still talk to you, but yeah, I'm not calling you anymore. I'm not trying to make you look at reason anymore. I mean, you're a fucking regular on Spaced Out Radio. Talk about a yes man. That guy doesn't question a fucking thing. I mean, he's seen Bigfoot and UFOs. Fuck, how lucky is he? Go do that show. Go write your book with Grant Cameron. Go endorse people like Ricky Ticky here instead of people like me. I know. I don't have the status quite like Grant Cameron or Ricky Ticky. But when I'm done here, the status change, the status difference between me and Ricky Ticky. Oh man. You know, guy, I don't hype shit. But I've never been more excited about a project in my life. That's the show. That's the show, y'all. That is the fucking show, and I think it was a goddamn good one. Honestly. You guys, thank you all so goddamn much. Seriously. The ones who've been here from the beginning, the ones who are coming in now, you found the right UFO channel. We're not going to feed you bullshit here. We're not going to placate to your belief system. We're not going to harass and fucking go after people's families here. If you're interested in that shit, check out Skyfire News. I hear they're hiring. Good luck. Good fucking luck, doggy. To everyone in the chat, I cannot thank you enough. Where's my thing here? What is happening? Sorry guys, I'm looking for something here. There it is. Let
Let me give a shout out to all you lovely people out there. Simon Fly, wait, Wes H, Matthew Riot, Outer Space Dollface, Ardent Paranormal, thank you for being an amazing mod. Complicier, thank you for being here for the donations. Craig William, thank you for being here. TJ Felony, thank you very much. Steve Long, kudos to Lou for sticking around and holding people accountable after the magic disappeared. It's still magic. There's still some magic to this discussion. I promise you, we'll find it. We'll find it. If it's there, we'll find it. It'll come. And I have a feeling the magic is going to be made by human hands. And trust me when I tell you, I think that's a more interesting conversation. If you really think about it. Thorpanku, Pat Calabria, thanks for being here, brah. Swink McLeod. Screen. Probably because the last hour has sucked. Oh, I guess Screen's not a fan of the show. Too bad. Too bad. Sparky Pilot, thanks for being here. Thanks for modding. Thanks for modding, Matt. Sassy, thank you for the donation. Appreciate it. Simon Fly, you as well. Craig William. Even my haters, man. I'm gonna love everybody. I don't think you're a hater, but even my haters. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. I know you're watching the most out of anyone, so at least that's what the numbers say. You guys have a killer rest of your week. I'm not gonna say that. We'll see you Friday if I don't see you Wednesday. It might be because other things are happening. You guys, thank you so damn much for coming on this journey. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and thank you for helping raise the bar. We'll see you next time, guys. Peace out.